All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back live for some more NASCAR coverage on this Saturday afternoon in April at the Texas Motor Speedway. This time it is the running of the Andes Frozen Custard 300 at the Texas Motor Speedway. It's our commentary stream of the weekend, the second of the day. And we are just moments away from the drop of the green flag for today's NASCAR Xfinity Series race, again at the Texas Motor Speedway. We'll quickly blow through the starting lineup of today's races. Cars are already on the track. So we are literally just minutes away from the drop of the green flag. Jesse Love on the pole for the fourth time this Xfinity Series season, trying to still go for his first career win in his rookie campaign. And Cole Custer will start outside of the front row with the Andes Frozen Custard paint scheme. So today, it's Cole Custard, I guess, instead of Cole Custer. But needless to say, we'll see if Cole Custer can still get his first win of the season. Taylor Gray and Chandler Smith will line up in row 2. Third start for Gray in the 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing. And Chandler Smith, 2 times a winner already this season. Riley Herbst and Justin Allgaier will line up in row number 3. Ryan Truex, AJ Allmendinger in row 4. First time we've seen Truex in the Xfinity Series this year. He won a race at Dover last year with Joe Gibbs Racing in the 19 car. Today he's in the number 20. Sammy Smith and Sam Mayer will line up in row number 5. Row 6 for Brandon Jones and Anthony Alfredo. Row 7 is Austin Hill, Ryan Sieg, Sheldon Creed, Parker Kligerman in row 8. Corey Heim and Jeremy Clements in row number 10. In row number 9. Row number 10 behind them is going to be Kyle Weatherman and Haley Deegan. Then in row 11, it is Jeb Burton and Josh Williams. Kyle Sieg, Daniel Dye in row 12, excuse me. First start of the season, I believe, in the Xfinity Series for Dye. He's in the Colleague Racing number 10 car. Brennan Poole and Blaine Perkins will line up in row 13. Matt DiBenedetto making his second Xfinity start this season in the 38 car on the inside of row 14 with Josh Bilicki to his outside. Parker Retzlaff and Patrick Emerly will line up in row 15. Row 16 for Leland Honeyman and Garrett Smithley. Row number 17 is going to be Shane Van Gisbergen and Dawson Cram starting deep in the field. Row 18, Chad Fincham, Ryan Ellis, Joey Gase, David Starr, and row 19 rounding out the 38 car Xfinity Series field today. Stage splits are 45, 45, and 110 lap 300-mile race around a 1.5-mile racetrack. Lights are already out of the pace car as they'll be going green this time by. Field is in turns 3 and 4. We'll take a look at the point standings a little later. Rapid fire pre-race show here. Started the stream 2 minutes ago. We're about to go green here. Wasn't late either. Just a quick start time for the Xfinity Series here at 1:30 Eastern. Cole Custer outside of the front row trying to take a hometown victory for the Andes Frozen Custard paint scheme today. Green flag is in the air and we are underway at Texas for the second race of the NASCAR race weekend. Jesse Love quickly pulled up the racetrack clear before heading back down the racetrack to the inside line into turns 1 and 2, slipping and sliding his way through the corners that get up to speed at Texas. Custer is going to fall back to at least the third place position as it looks like Chandler Smith is going to move into second in the 81 car. Smith with 2 wins already this year, trying to go for a third. And quickly down to single file through everybody in the pretty much top 6 or 7 positions. Near contact off turn 4 as Taylor Gray about got nudged by the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Close call there. It's an aggressive side draft from Justin. A really low exit to turn 4 to work his way underneath. Gray sideways off turn 2, and he's still trying to catch it all the way down the racetrack. He does. We stay green. What a save by Taylor Gray. His car has been all over the place in this first lap and a half. So loose around this very treacherous racetrack. We usually don't see drivers save it like that in turn 2. He not only kept it off the wall, but kept it from overcorrecting middle of the back straightaway as well. Cars were dodging him left and right. Jesse Love, after leading the first lap of the race, has lost the race lead. Meanwhile, in the midst of the save from Taylor Gray in the backstretch, Chandler Smith had gotten around him off turn 4. Very close, that left rear quarter panel took the air off the rear spoiler of the race car and got a little loose. Was Love, lifted out of the gas. Custer got around him for second. Since then, Love has gotten back around Custer for the second place position, crossed him over that last lap, as Chandler Smith has now led the last couple laps. So Love led lap 1, lap 2, 3 were led by Chandler Smith. Smith about to lead lap 4 this time by at the line as he still leads through 3 and 4 by about 3 or 4 car lengths over Cole Custer, who's back in second again. Jesse Love has fallen back to 4th. Justin Allgaier moves to 3rd. The 4 drivers running for the Dash for Cash today for the Xfinity Series would be Chandler Smith, Justin Allgaier, Sam Mayer, and Sheldon Creed. A bonus $100,000 will go to the winner of those 4 drivers. And last week, Eric Almirola, who won the Dash for Cash, won the race as well at Martinsville, his first Xfinity win of the season in a part-time role. In fact, I looked at the point standings for the start of the stream today. Eric Almirola is 11th in the driver's standings despite only running 4 out of 7 Xfinity races. So he's got drivers around him. He would be in the playoffs on points the way it looks right now. Now, I understand if you don't run the full season, that I can understand why you would be necessarily considered for the playoffs or eligible for the playoffs. But if you make your way in by points into the top 12, not running the full races, I feel like you should be allowed to run the playoffs. And so far, Almirola is 11th. He is not running today, so there's a good chance he falls out of the top 12, depending on how guys around him in the point standings end up running in this race. But that's where we stand there. Top 5 really in these first 6 laps of the race. Chandler Smith still with a 4/10 of a second lead over Cole Custer in second. Justin Allgaier is third. Jesse Love fourth. And Riley Herbst is in fifth. Custer and Allgaier still within a second of the race lead. And they're within a couple tenths of a second of each other as they battle for position. Love not pacing well here on this long run as we are in the very early going of the race. Really not even a long run, just 7 laps in, but lost the clean air in that track position after qualifying on the pole. His teammate Austin Hill really nowhere to be found in this one. Did not qualify well and is still outside the top 10 in the early going. Most difficult 1.5 mile racetrack to make a pass. No matter the series, it's very high speed, very treacherous. You get up out of that primarily bottom groove, which is dominated around this racetrack. Passes can be made up today, especially in turns 1 and 2. We'll see more than likely some accidents throughout the race today as well as tomorrow in turns 1 and 2 like we saw in the truck race. All but one of the cautions for incident last night in the truck race took place in turn 2. The other in turn 3 on a restart when they were a lap in. But mostly turn 2. We saw Taylor Gray obviously get really loose off turn 2 here in the early going. And speaking of which, he probably burned the rear tires off the car because he's already fallen to 9th. In the lap times that he is running somewhat close to still the drivers around him, but he did have the slowest lap time of anybody in the top 10 that last lap, so he's definitely driving on ice, I guess, here in the early going. Riley Herbst is now catching Jesse Love. Love slides up the racetrack in the middle of 1 and 2. Herbst stays all the way down around that white line, works his way underneath them, and they'll drag race down the backstretch. Again, that battle is for 4th. And as they cut to commercial, looks like Herbst has made the pass on Jesse Love for that 4th place position at about 3 seconds off the lead. So lap 10 here in this one. Again, 45 laps in the first stage of the race. Chandler Smith is your race leader. Cole Custer sits in second. Justin Allgaier third. Riley Herbst is 4th. Jesse Love 5th. Ryan Truex in 6th. AJ Allmendinger 7th. Brandon Jones 8th. Taylor Gray 9th. Ryan Sieg rounds out the top 10. So that is your top 10 here in the early laps of the Andy's Frozen Custard 300. While we're under the commercial break for the first time today, we'll take a look at the point standings now as they stand. Chandler Smith comes in as the regular season points leader, 35 points ahead of Cole Custer here in this one. Those two both in the top 3 in the running order. Of course, Chandler Smith leading the race. And Smith tied with the most wins in the Xfinity Series alongside Austin Hill, won the first 2 races of the year. 2 wins for Chandler Smith, both in the last 3 races as well for Chandler. 7 top 10 finishes on the season in all 7 races. Chandler Smith, the only driver in the Xfinity Series to finish in the top 10 in every race, and he's only finished outside of the top 5 once, as he has 6 top 5 finishes to go along with that. 242 laps led, which is the most of the Xfinity Series regulars, and tied for the most stage wins with Jesse Love at 3. So dominating season early on for Chandler Smith. We'll see how he keeps that going over the summer months and even here in the final month and a half of spring. Cole Custer, as I mentioned, is second in the standings, 35 points behind Chandler Smith. Austin Hill is 41 points out of first, but locked into the playoffs with the 2 wins already. Jesse Love, although he's scored a few poles, a few stage wins, he is 4th in points, still having a good season nonetheless in his rookie year. Justin Allgaier is 5th in the standings, still in search for his first win. Junior Motorsports in general, has not won a race yet this season. Riley Herbst sits 6th in the standings as well. Parker Kligerman 7th, up quite a bit from a year ago. 3 early top 10s of the year, along with AJ Allmendinger also at 3 top 10s and 8th in points. Sammy Smith is currently 9th with 5 top 10 finishes quietly. Despite not having speed early in the race, he seems to get good finishes by the end. And Sheldon Creed rounds out the top 10 in the point standings. 3 top 5 finishes this season, but only 4 top 10s. Mentioned AJ Allmendinger not running for points this season because he's not running the full schedule. So he does have a win. 20 cars locked into the owner's playoffs with that win, but that would be about it there. And Anthony Alfredo would technically be 11th. And Shane Van Gisbergen has the final playoff spot as of right now. He'd be 12th in the playoff standings over Brandon Jones. He's only 2 points ahead of Jones, 3 points ahead of Ryan Sieg, who's in the top 10 in the early going, and Sam Mayer 17 points behind SVG as well, who would be 15th in the points. So that is the update on the point standings on the NASCAR Xfinity Series side of things. Many more races to go until the playoffs here, unlike the Truck Series, which only has about 8 races before the playoffs now. Again, we will still have 18 races before the playoffs in the Xfinity Series. Under caution for the first time today, it looks like the 10 car has gone around for a spin.
Teammate Josh Williams really tucked up tight behind him. That air is going to affect that. And Josh is hunting the bottom. I'm not going to say that he did it on purpose. Obviously, both driving for Matt Colleague, but enough to upset that 10 car.
Yeah, once you start going there, you're along for the ride. It's how you pass here, especially early in the race when it's kind of one groove right now. We talked about if you give that line up, right, you give a little bit of air to that trailing car, it's going to allow them to pack air on you and get even looser. We were talking about that right before commercial.
As a guy that grew up with Josh Williams, I'd like to hear what he said on the radio.
Let's go there now. Here's Team 11 radio.
Yeah, I never touched him. I guess I just put air on him. I didn't think hit him. I don't think he hit anything. Think he'll be okay.
He didn't put air on him. He took air off of him. Yeah. As a guy that grew up with Josh, we've put the bumper to each other a lot. That one wasn't it, just some air.
They were racing for 21st. We're 13 laps in at Texas under caution.
The itch and rash of modern.
All right, so we are under commercial break here for the first time under the caution flag for the first time as well here today. Spin there by the 10 car. Again, that is being driven this weekend by Daniel Dye in his first Xfinity start. May have had some help from behind from Josh Williams, whether there was contact with the left rear or not. Definitely took the air off of it. We saw a couple cars get loose already. Dye was unable to save it. Not a lot of damage. He should be able to continue on, but already going to have to use one of those sets of tires, which he seems to not have a lot. The good news is for Dye, this track does not have a lot of tire wear, so he's got that going for him. The spin, again, was in turn 2 and was officially at lap 11. Again, first lap of the race led by the pole sitter Jesse Love. Since then, Chandler Smith has led the next 13 laps of this race, and that is where we are right now, lap 14, again, under caution. We'll take our first ad break of the stream. You're listening live on KRC to the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Be sure to like, comment in the chat along the way, vote for your driver who you think is going to win the race in the chat as well, and subscribe, most importantly, for more live NASCAR content like this. Quick shout-outs for those of you watching the stream in the early going. JoJo, Mark Witkowski, Terry Lewis, Jeff Sperry, NASCAR 2311 Cup Series, Robert Perkel, Bond 1771, Dan Bowers, and others. Welcome into the stream. Of the early votes in the poll, 43% say Justin Allgaier will win. Only 23 votes have been casted so far. We'll see many more than that, so the voting poll could definitely sway quite a bit. But 43% of you say Allgaier will win. 30% of you say somebody other than those 3 drivers in the list will win. Chandler Smith at 13%, Jesse Love at 13%. Took Jesse Love to win this, or sorry, not Jesse Love. I saw Love on there. It took Chandler Smith to win the race today. He's definitely had the most dominant speed as of late. He qualified particularly well. Track position's going to mean a lot in this one, so it took Chandler Smith for this Xfinity Series race here today, and we'll see if it'll pan out for him. I certainly think so, but we'll see, again, if that will actually be the case. Alrighty. So still awaiting the restart from our first caution of the day. And again, the race to the end of stage 1 is lap 45. And just like the stream earlier, if you're wondering why the camera's turned off, it is to keep the bit rate up, so that way there is any sort of issues with the lagginess of the stream. I think I have to update OBS on this laptop if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not sure how long that update will take, so I'll try to get that tomorrow while I have much more time before the first stream to run that, with us not streaming the Cup race until 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So that is the reason for the camera being turned off, just as it was for our earlier stream during Cup Series practice and qualifying. William Byron, fan 24, thanks for tuning in. He's pulling for Custard. He's up there in the early going.
You not resist. You have to live the brand. I mean, we know that, Joey.
Some Logano fans in the crowd. We'll find some Chastain fans, too. Restart as we complete laps 16.
All right, green flag back in the air. Good restart for Chandler Smith on the inside of row number 1. To the outside, it is Justin Allgaier trying to take the charge up there. He's going to stay along Chandler Smith through the turns 1 and 2 on the restart. Still going to be door-to-door for the lead down the back straightaway. A little bit of a run off that high side by Allgaier, the 7. The 81 goes up the side, draft the left rear corner panel before diving back to the bottom in 3 and 4. Allgaier going to pinch the 81 down, going to try to force him into an uncompromised position. Chandler doesn't lift, though, holds on strong, continues up the speed, leads that lap at the line, and here comes Custer behind in the 00. Gonna back off here in the early going, kind of wait for these two to settle things out a little bit. Chandler Smith finally clear in turns 1 and 2 on lap 2 after the restart and lap 18 in the race. Slides up. Cole Custer was looking for a hole to get underneath Allgaier, but couldn't quite get the run to do so. Another side-by-side battle in the top 5 between Riley Herbst in the 98 and the 20 of Ryan Truex is moving forward. Truex started in the back half of the top 10, is already up to 4th, getting by the 98, as well as a few other cars in the field on this most recent restart. And how about Ryan Sieg up to 6th place? Great run for the 39 team in the early going. Get the leaderboard back up there for you. Sorry for that. Allgaier trying to stay within pretty close proximity to the 81 of Chandler Smith, while the 00 of Cole Custer lagging behind a little bit more. He's being ran down by Truex in the 4th place position. That 20 car has actually won 2 races this year with 2 different drivers already. John Hunter Nemechek winning at Las Vegas in the 3rd race of the season. And then last week in the 7th race of the year, Eric Almirola winning at Martinsville. And now Truex in his first start in a part-time role in that 20 car as well. That'd be insane if you get 3 different drivers to win in the same car in the first 8 races of the season, nonetheless. And that's just the speed Joe Gibbs Racing has had in the Xfinity Series this year. One of them, if not multiple of them, are competing for wins week in and week out. And, I mean, obviously it's usually just Chandler Smith and whoever's in the 20 car, but even Taylor Gray finished 3rd at Richmond a couple weeks ago in his first career Xfinity start. And Sheldon Creed has had a few top 5s this season already as well. 3 of them. Hasn't led nearly as many laps outside of the super speedway at Daytona at the start of the season, but still some great runs going for him. Top 5 now on lap 21 of stage 1. Chandler Smith ahead by 1/10 of a second still over Justin Allgaier in P2. Cole Custer's P3, 9/10 of a second off the lead. Ryan Truex a second back in 4th, and Riley Herbst 1.6 seconds back in 5th. Again, that is your top 5 in the early going of this race. Our first pit stops will be coming during the stage 1 break when we get there. But again, for right now, still plenty of time left in this one. Just getting underway in this 300-mile, 200-lap race. Pretty traditional race length for the Xfinity Series on mile-and-a-half racetrack. Allgaier doing pretty good in the dirty air. I almost wonder if he can get the clean air on Chandler Smith, if he can maybe drive away from it just because he is staying right there with him. Just a couple tenths off the lead. He's staying within that 2 to 3 car length range and still hooking the bottom in that same exact line Chandler Smith is running. So the 7 car seems to be handling well in traffic. Haven't really seen the 81 in traffic because he took the lead on the second lap of the race. So if he gets behind the 7, that's a dynamic we have yet to see here. Justin did a great job on the outside on the restart, a lot better than the initial start for Chandler, considering Jesse Love was able to clear in turns 1 and 2, although obviously Chandler Smith got the lead the next lap. Wasn't able to get it right out of the get-go. And Jesse Love, again, who qualified on the pole, led the first lap of the race, continues to free fall through the top 10. AJ Allmendinger has just passed him for 9th, and now Sam Mayer going to pass him for 10th. And Love, who started on the pole in just 25 laps, has already fell out of the top 10 in the early going of his first career Xfinity Series start at Texas. The spring date's the only date for the Truck Xfinity and Cup Series this year at the Texas Motor Speedway. Still rumored that this track could be reconfigured and repaved once again. As a result of that, only having one date, and again early in the spring, we'll see if that will actually go to fruition during the mid-portion of this NASCAR season and before, of course, next year. What this track will be reconfigured as. Some people have mentioned maybe it'll be reconfigured like the Atlanta Motor Speedway is now. Maybe it'll be just a different version of a mile and a half. Maybe it'll look like the old Texas Motor Speedway that we had seen in years past. Who knows? But I can't say that is confirmed necessarily, but it does seem to be leaning that way, and NASCAR has adjusted its schedule accordingly in case that will end up taking place again during this NASCAR season after this weekend's events. And I think IndyCar might actually have to come to Texas yet too within the next couple weeks. You'll have to let me know, any IndyCar fans in there. I don't really know how their schedule works, if they are going to Texas at all this year. I mean, they usually do. So I'm interested to see that. Doing the WNBA draft Monday. No, I don't plan on it. This is a NASCAR-oriented channel. And there's the pass for the lead I was wondering if we'd see. Justin Allgaier around the outside off turn 2. Rips around the 81 of Chandler Smith. First lead of the day for Allgaier. Not much of a fight there from Chandler. And now we get to see if the 81 in traffic could be just as good. Although Justin Allgaier already quickly pulling out to nearly half a second lead in the first lap, he has taken the race lead. Truex still stuck behind Custer. About a 1 second gap between third place and sixth place on the leaderboard. And about a 2 second gap between third and eighth. So a tight battle in the running order there. You wonder if Custer might be holding those guys up just a bit. But we know Allgaier isn't getting held up by the race leader anymore. He has taken the lead and he's slowly running away with it. And he is your guys' vote to win the race here today. And again, you can change that vote before the end of Stage 2. And if you have not voted yet, again, the poll is open until the end of Stage 2. 35 votes have been casted so far. 43% of you say that Allgaier will win. 31% of you say somebody other than Chandler Smith, Jesse Love, or Justin Allgaier will win. Chandler Smith at 17% of the votes and 9% for Jesse Love here in the early going of this race. We'll go through the full field running order rundown on lap 30 here. I mentioned Allgaier just took the race lead away, already a second ahead of Chandler Smith in second place now. Cole Custer sits in third. Ryan Truex fourth. Riley Hurst fifth. Austin Hill sixth. Ryan Sieg seventh. Brandon Jones eighth. AJ Allmendinger ninth. And Sam Mayer is 10th. Sheldon Creed in 11th. Parker Kligerman just passed Jesse Love for 12th. Love now back to 13th after starting first. Jeb Burton 14th after starting deep in the field. Taylor Gray 15th after starting in the top 5. Corey Heim is now 16th. Anthony Alfredo 17th. Sammy Smith 18th. Josh Williams 19th. Kyle Weatherman is 20th. Jeremy Clements 21st. Haley Deegan around where she qualified 22nd. Daniel Dye has fallen out of the top 10 to 23rd. Josh Malicki 24th. Parker Retzlaff 25th. Leland Honeyman 26th. Kyle Sieg 27th. Shane Van Gisbergen 28th. Blaine Perkins 29th. Matt DiBenedetto in 30th. Patrick Emmerling 31st. Chad Fincham 32nd. Ryan Ellis 33rd. Garrett Smithley 34th. 35th for Brendan Poole. David Starr 36th. Joey Gase 37th. Dawson Cram 38th. And that is the full field running order rundown. 26 laps left for Chandler Smith. Current race leader Justin Allgaier has led the last 5. And again, Love led the first lap of the race. Those are the different leaders here in Stage 1. 13 laps to go still in the first stage. You're listening on KRC to the NASCAR Xfinity Series live commentary of the Indy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas Motor Speedway. Side-by-side commercial break on Fox Sports 1. If you're wondering where you can watch this, just as practice qualifying was this morning on FS1, the truck race last night, this Xfinity race on FS1, and even tomorrow's Cup race will be on Fox Sports 1 as well. That'll be the second points race for the Cup Series on FS1 this season. They ran last week's race at Martinsville on FS1, so if you're unable to watch it, definitely tune in over the next 24 hours or so and see if we can get there. Quick update as well. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not done so yet. Trying to close in on 5,000 subscribers on the channel. And we are one away. One subscriber away from 5,000. We're at 4,999. So if anybody watching out there has not hit it, you could be the 5,000 subscriber. You don't get anything for it, but you'll get a big round of applause, whoever you are, if you shout out maybe in the chat that you're not subscribed yet. And that you are new. I usually try to give shout outs anyway to anybody new I see in the chat, but if you say you're the 5,000 subscriber, I'll have to believe it because I can't actually go back through and verify whether that would be the case. So you could be completely lying to my face. But yeah, we are one subscriber away from 5,000. Be sure to hit the like button on the stream as well. If you haven't yet, 34 likes. Make that 35. 35 likes now. Our goal is to get to 100 on this stream, double of what we were able to get to earlier today when we hit our goal of 50 during the qualifying and practice Cup Series live stream this morning. 10 laps to go. Stage 1 now. Justin Allgaier's opened his lead up to 1.8 seconds over Chandler Smith. Coming up on 9 laps to go now, this time by Allgaier leading the Dash for Cash as well. Chandler Smith in second is also running for the Dash for Cash this week. Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed are also running for the Dash for Cash. Last week, the Dash for Cash winner won the race in the first attempt at it, that being the 20 car at the time of Eric Almirola. So we'll see if one of those 4 drivers can get the win and the extra $100,000 bonus. Sam Mayer is in 10th, Sheldon Creed in 11th as well, are the other 2 Dash for Cash. Again, Allgaier first, Chandler Smith second are also in it.
That Kelly and Dale put in place, LW, that they are, as they continue to grow their team, Justin is that steady force with Brant on the car that you see continue to show up year after year and have this speed, even if he does complain about other cars that he's faster than.
I tell you, hear these guys pedaling it quite a bit. These guys are...
I got him muted for a quick second. We have hit the 5,000 mark threshold. Appreciate that, everybody. We have just hit 5,000 subscribers on the channel. I'll put it up there. There you see it right there. Hopefully the race wasn't showing when I did that on the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. I think it's small enough that you guys... oh, geez, I didn't even realize the camera's not even on anyway. Oh, my goodness. I'll turn it on for a quick second. I'm sure you guys could probably see it already. I'll have to turn this camera off after a couple seconds, I believe, but hopefully we don't have a lag spike here over the next couple minutes, but if we do, that would be why. Maybe it's because it's HD wide. I don't know. Maybe that's why. Well, needless to say, here we are. Get it up on screen for you guys. 5,000. Perfect number. If I refresh it, it might be a couple more than that right now, but we are at 5,000. It looks like a crisp number on screen. Appreciate that, though. We have hit the I almost said 1,000, 5,000 mark threshold. It's hard to believe. I mean, we hit 1,000. Would have been not November, or might have been October. I think it was October. It wasn't last year, but the year before in October. So it's hard to believe in a year and a half we've gotten 4,000 more. That's awesome. Appreciate it again, everybody, for tuning in every NASCAR race weekend for these races and other live commentary streams I'll be doing going forward as well.
Drift, but he's rallied. Was outside the top 15, trying to work his way back toward the top 10 as we close on the end of stage 1. Only 4 to go. Allgaier 2.6 seconds in front of Chandler Smith. And the battle for 5th is on. Ryan Truex, Austin Hill, and now Brandon Jones enters the party.
You know, that racing is so much fun to watch because, you know, they're in line and you got to sit there and think about, okay, is this run I have big enough to actually clear them, or am I going to get stuck on the bottom like Jeff did and possibly lose a spot? You got to weigh all those things out, and sometimes it's so inviting to go take that run, and sometimes it's just not good enough, and the risk isn't quite worth the reward. You got to think through all that stuff at 180 miles an hour. Take the run. Take the run and take the run every time. I know that. Yeah, I've raced around you enough to know you're taking it.
You think I studied for your whole career? I know we're similar. No, you were doing this for a decade before me. I watched you.
That's the problem. Everyone watched.
Allgaier working lap traffic. This is big as we head toward the end of the stage. Who's going to stay on the lead lap? Who might get the free pass after going 1 lap down? 2 to go. And, you know, we've been hard on Junior Motorsports. They hadn't had a top 5 finish this season until last week. They put 3 in the top 5 at Martinsville.
Oh, I fat-fingered it. Accidentally switched to horse race on an FS2.
Because they haven't been before me. Right, Allgaier had the race won.
He did.
At Phoenix before he had a flat tire. There were 2 to go. now you see him about to win this stage on the last lap here.
Mentioned earlier, swept the stages last year at Texas, and that was the second time he had done that. Got a stage victory last Saturday night at Martinsville. 7 cars got it in the win today. He leads 18 laps in the opening stage and wins a stage here at Texas for the 5th time in his career. Chandler Smith is second. Herbst hangs on to third. Brandon Jones gets up there inside the top 5. Same for Truex. Custer goes in the wrong direction late in the stage. Austin Hill gets points. Great job by Ryan Sieg to stay in the top 10. Allmendinger is 9th, and Parker Kligerman second here last year, 10th in stage 1. Justin Allgaier in charge here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Smile.
All right, under a commercial break right now, Justin Allgaier wins stage 1. We'll go through the rest of the order here for stage 1. Justin Allgaier, again, wins the stage. Chandler Smith second, Riley Herbst third, Brandon Jones fourth, Cole Custer fifth, Ryan Truex in sixth, Austin Hill seventh, Ryan Sieg eighth, AJ Allmendinger ninth, Parker Kligerman 10th. That is your top 10, and all those drivers, again, are receiving stage points for their top 10 finish through stage 1. And for Justin Allgaier, this is his second stage win of the season. On the year, he's led 112 laps coming into the race today, so adding a few more to that total as well. Our first pit stops of the day will be coming up after the stage break. Again, you're listening live here on KRC. We'll stay right here with our live commentary coverage. Won't have to go anywhere for the moment or for the next hour and a half to 2 hours or so. You're right here, taking you to the finish. Get some post-race interviews in there as well for some of the top finishers. I kind of have a simulcast of the Detroit Tigers game going on right now. The guy for the Twins has 8 strikeouts in 3 innings. It's like a video game number. I just thought I'd share that with you guys. It's crazy. 8-3. And they're still losing. Not getting any help. Offensively, at least, for Minnesota. By the way, thanks, Spitfire, the Dragon, TV, Love, and Positive Light. Thanks for tuning in. That's a long channel name. But, yeah, I saw you subscribe. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for coming back in. Said you've commented before. Zachary Wall, also welcome into the stream recently. But yeah, Joseph C3, also welcome into the stream. Pick's doing good here in the early going. Very short. Showing replay of that lap 2 save from Taylor Gray. Off turn 2. Great job. He almost overcorrected multiple times on the back straightaway, but he's still fishtailing. But a great job at full speed. He was probably in the gas still. And I would assume he was in the gas still when he was trying to drive out of it, considering he only lost a few positions. Ultimately, he burned the tires off the car and did not get a top 10 finish at the end of stage 1. But in the midst of that happening, I think he only lost like 3 or 4 spots. And again, pit road will be open this time by. Did not open it this most recent time down the front stretch. Allgaier will lead him in. We'll say that 7 team has struggled on pit road this season, so we'll see if they can come out with the lead. They seem to lose quite a few spots on a consistent basis, so we'll see how they do here. Which is kind of weird to a certain extent, because I'm pretty sure the JRM guys pretty much are using Hendrick Motorsport pit crews, and they're like the best in the Cup Series. I will say, obviously, it's a different pit stop style with the, old 5 lug nuts here versus the new single lug, the next gen car, but even still. I always thought that they were one of the better teams, even in the Gen 6 and before era with pit stops too. So I don't know why they're struggling as much right now this season. At least on the 7 team, it seems that way. Quite a few lap cars between the top 2 here, so that will give Allgaier quite a big buffer over Chandler Smith as Smith hits pit road. I mean, there's probably a good 6 or 7 car length difference between the two on pit road, so they could take their time and still probably come out with the lead.
Free when it lands, gets extremely loose, back tire sliding, and then the front does not work through the middle. He wants help with that. In the 81 car, Chandler Smith, his car is very tight when he gets back to the throttle, especially when he moves up to the higher lane. Josh?
Story for the 21 of Austin Hills just being too tight. Said he's too tight to run the bottom like he wants to. Too tight in dirty air as well. But he said, I need track position to be able to run better the way I want for the 00 of Cole Custard. They're going to take some swings, air pressure, track bar, as he was plowing tight towards the end of that run.
Here's the race off pit road.
Yeah, gonna be actually won by not even shown on our chart. Corey Heim missed his pit box. He'll have to come back in and pit.
Yeah, there was a whole lot going on there for those drivers that made pit stops, so we'll reset.
Corey Heim was mid-pack too at that time. So a tough break there for him, losing even more positions, having to back into his pit box, it sounds like. All right, well, we'll see how it works for him. We'll have to wait for our leaderboard to update once the race leaders get back to the start-finish line, this time by under the caution. We'll get to the restart here shortly as well, once we begin stage 2. Quick little start to this one. Sharita Cooper, thanks for tuning in as well. Also pulling for the number 7, it appears. 45 votes in the poll, 45 likes on the stream. Pretty consistent there across the board. Appreciate that, everybody. We've hit our goal already of 5,000 subs on the channel today, but still got to hit that goal of likes on the stream as well. So let's try to get to 100 as soon as we can. We've hit that goal of 100 quite a bit for the Xfinity Series races this season as well. So appreciate you guys tuning in. Even on an early Saturday afternoon, taking time out of your weekend to tune in for the commentary again here today. Allgaier still leading that poll, though. 42% of the votes. 31% of you say somebody other than Love, Allgaier, or Smith will win this thing. Allgaier and Smith were 1-2 at the end of the first stage. Jesse Love at just 9% of the votes after falling back to 13th out of the gate here today. See if he can start to pick some of those positions back off again. Lost a few more spots on pit road. It looks like he's now back to 16th. For starting first, just continues to lose positions. Tough break for him. Ryan Truex lost a couple spots on pit road. He is 6th. Austin Hill gained quite a few. He's going to be in 5th on the restart. Riley Herbst jumped to P2. Great stop by the 98 team. That little bit of a buffer obviously helped for the 7 team. Like the fastest 4-tire stop did go to Herbst. 14.281 on pit road. Allgaier with a pretty fast stop as well, though. Looked like he tied for the second fastest stop with Hill's team. Slow stop for Anthony Alfredo, 21.62 seconds. And he falls to 22nd. He was just outside the top 10. Lost quite a few spots. Over half a dozen at least. What? I'm looking back. Oh my goodness, he struck out 2 more. 10 strikeouts in 4 innings. This guy for the Twins. I'm only keeping an eye on it as the stream's going on because I'm a Tigers fan, but that's impressive. All right. Looks like field's doubled up. Lights are off on the pace car, so they'll be going green this time by. Get to this next restart. Lap 52 in this one. Oh, A.J. Allmendinger swung into his pit box and swung right out. So he's given up a lot of track position. He was in the back half of the top 10. Now he's at the tail end of the lead lap, right around 26th for this restart. Tough break for AJ. Gonna have to come from deep on a tough racetrack to make passes. Long ways to go still, though, and a couple more pit stops on top of it. Green flag is back in the air. Good restart for Cole Custer as he pushes the back of the 7 of Allgaier. And also good restart on the outside of row 1 so far for Riley Herbst. Once they get in the middle of 1 and 2, though, S7 car breaks away clearly off turn 2 with the lead. Side by side for second between the SHR Fords of Custer and Herbst. Custer on the inside, Herbst still on the outside. Into turns 3 and 4, trying to hold that lane as best as he can. Custer's going to be clear off turn 4 for second. Herbst is going to allow another car to get underneath him of Chandler Smith. They'll be side by side for third, and Austin Hill also trying to move up another spot as he gets to the inside of Herbst. Can't hang on. It looks like Riley's going to be able to stay in fourth off the exit of turn 2. Single file through most of the top 10 now, about a lap and a half after the stage 2 restart. And about a half a second lead already out there for Custer. Chevy, 2 Fords, Toyota, Chevy top 5, and then 2 more Toyotas and 3 Chevys to round out the top 10 on the manufacturer side of things. Sheldon Creed up a line. Off the bottom in the middle of 1 and 2, and that allows for a car to slip underneath him. Briefly, at least. Jeb Burton with a great run, up to 8th after starting outside the top 20 today. And one of the few cars making quite a few passes through the field. Jordan Anderson Racing Chevys have had a good season so far, especially in qualifying. Struggle to put full races together. And shout out also Haley Deegan running in 15, just past Taylor Gray on the racetrack for position. I think it's the best she's ran definitely all season in the Xfinity Series side of things. Especially this early in a race. Her first start at Texas in the Xfinity Series. Some underfunded equipment there. Sheldon Creed, one of the Dash for Cash competitors, kind of slowly moving through the top 10. He got up to 7th on this race start, trying to put a fight to the 2 guys who have dominated the race today of Allgaier and Smith. That is Chandler Smith, of course, not Sammy Smith. Sammy Smith, although, has also broken the top 10 up to 10th place after qualifying mid-pack. And another side-by-side pass for position is about to be made, it looks like, from Ryan Truex in the 20. Slipping and sliding through the bumps on the bottom groove in turns 3 and 4. Did a great job keeping it off of the 21 of Hill, though. Drag racing down to turn 1. Very low entry into the corner for Ryan Truex. But stays glued pretty well, though, to that white line, and he does pull clear off the exit of the corner. We'll see if Hill tries the crossover. Nope, he's just going to bump draft him down the backstretch. Let go well before getting into turn 3. Moves up a lane to the outside, just trying to find something different, get some clean air in the nose. Loses more time to Ryan Truex. Truex, again, lost 2 spots on pit road. So went from 4th to 6th on the restart, got one of those spots back there. He's still about another second behind Herbst for 4th. And Chandler Smith went from 4th to 3rd a couple laps ago by passing Riley Herbst as well. Chandler up to 3rd. All right, so Justin Allgaier still growing that lead out, about 1.3 seconds already ahead of Custer. Chandler Smith, who was really good on the short run, lost a couple spots on pit road, didn't get the restart in the front row, despite finishing second at the end of stage 1, and that has definitely hurt him. Deegan now looking to make a pass on Jesse Love for 14th. Love, again, has not been very good today. Qualified on the pole in this one. His teammate started outside the top 10 and has already worked himself up into the top 5 for a brief moment before falling back to 6th. And Jesse Love, who started on the pole and had good qualifying speed, obviously is struggling here in the race, as he still runs 14th. Shane Van Gisbergen in 25th in his first Texas start today after starting very deep in the field as well. Qualified outside the top 30, so he's kind of slowly progressing forward. Needs a good day as well. Again, he's the last driver in on points on that cutoff line of the playoffs. Anthony Alfredo, another driver barely on the inside in 11th and 18th, so not great runs for those two teams, and maybe it creates more of an opportunity like a Sam Mayer, who is in 11th, to try to capitalize, get some stage points, get a good top 10 finish, and cut into that deficit on two drivers he's trying to chase here for that final playoff spot. And again, still 18 races to go in the regular season, but points matter all season, whether people like to admit it or not. Looks like a full screen commercial break now on Fox Sports 1. Again, a 1.4 second lead for Justin Allgaier over Cole Custer at second. Chandler Smith 1.6 seconds back in third. Riley Hurts is 2.2 seconds back at fourth. Ryan Truex 2.7 seconds off the lead in fifth. Austin Hill in sixth is 3 seconds off the lead. 3.5 seconds back is Brandon Jones in seventh. Sheldon Creed eighth, 4.6 seconds back. Jeb Burton in ninth, 4.7 seconds off the lead. And 5.3 seconds back is Sammy Smith in 10th. So that is your top 10 in the still early going of the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Texas Motor Speedway. 50 likes on the stream. We're halfway to our goal of 100. Be sure to hit that like button if you guys haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. And we'll continue this live commentary coverage as we keep on rolling. Robert Goodrich, Lincoln Kim Hollingsworth, thanks for tuning in as well. Home for the Fords, got a couple of them in the top 5. Earlier than last night, still late. Hey, I appreciate you tuning in now. That's all that matters. Earlier stream, too. I was going to take an ad break there. We'll skip that for right now. I'll wait till the end of Stage 2 to take the next one. I'll let you listen into some of the commentary here because I got to go fish out a diecast for the end of Stage 2 diecast showing, so let you listen into some of the race coverage. The guest commentators in the booth with Adam Alexander on FS1 today are Joey Logano and Ross Chastain. First time Chastain has done an Xfinity Series broadcast. We've seen Logano for all but just a couple races this season on the Xfinity Series Fox coverage of races as well. It was also announced, by the way, earlier in the week that the last 8 Xfinity races this season are being taken place by the CW. So again, the CW will be broadcasting the rights to the final 8 Xfinity Series races this season. They were set to take over the full Xfinity Series schedule starting next year, but it looks like that has been moved up to this season for the final 8 races. So on Fox still for their first half of the season, and then NBC will take over for a few weeks with the USA Network and NBC covering races. But again, those final 8, though, will be on the CW. So that will be interesting to see.
You're used to having a reporter come up to you and have legit questions, not like what kind of flavor of bubble gum do you like.
I was asking you what was in your cup.
It's actually a lot more fun and very just different. I don't think it's better for sure.
The countdown is on. Drivers Only is making its return. Charlotte weekend, Memorial Day weekend, 12:30 Eastern time.
Yes, and I've known this for a few weeks, and as I've been up here, Adam, I've been just watching and listening on how you bring it back from commercial and you do all your stuff. Your part, you have the hardest job up here of all of us, by the way. So I've been paying attention, and I just try to do better than Kevin did up there the last few years. That's my goal. Is I just be comparable to where Kevin is.
I want you to ease into this. So why don't the two of you take the ball? I'll just sit over here, watch and listen. A little Drivers Only from Texas.
All right, well, let's give this a shot, Ross, right here. Wait, again, Cole Custer with the 81. These guys have been racing. Cole has been playing defense, Ross, since the beginning of this run. I think he knows if he loses his track position, look at the line of cars behind him. He's just going to get in that dirty air and fall back a lot. With 21 laps to go, he needs to keep racing hard.
He is. Cole's a guy. He runs his wheel a little different. Even if you just look at how he runs his steering wheel on the car, the spoke is straight up. He's got a different seat position than I like, than I see a lot of other drivers. He is driving.
Oh, come on.
20 laps.
Ricky, get an update on the 7?
Well, Joey, the leader of Justin Allgaier right now, just told on the radio by his spotter, Eddie DeHaan, you have a little piece of debris on the grill. Keep an eye on the temperatures. The report from him back to the team is that the temperatures have been creeping up. They're plus 20 right now. The engine tuner standing right next to his crew chief, Jim Coleman. No concern yet. And also keep an eye on the 20 car of Ryan Truex. He also has red numbers on the gauges right now. Some debris floating around on the track.
Yeah, for Justin Allgaier as a leader, really hard to get that debris off. But he does have clean air, which cools the engine a little bit better. So it might actually be making more downforce for him, Ross, which he might actually like as long as it doesn't get too hot.
Yeah, and for their Hendrick engines, they have numbers. They know what plus 20 means. None of us know what that means, but he does. Jim Coleman, a guy that I've worked with, and super even keel. It's really nice to have that calm voice as we go on board here with Riley Herbst. You see this throttle down the backstretch, 100%. Let's see how much he lifts. Full lifting. Into 3, and he's just trying to stay half a car lower than his teammate. You know, whatever the 00 car is doing handling-wise, the 98 is going to be really similar.
Absolutely, the teammates there. And what he's trying to do is just keep his left side out just a little bit. I always said when I drove these Xfinity cars, keep my left side headlight out. I get just enough air to where I can stay close and try to pack air on the leading car, which in this case is a 00, his teammate, to try to pull off that pass.
Hey, are you okay to come back on with us?
I am.
I want to look here. Parker Kligerman on pit road.
I always tell people that my job is hard, and then you guys come in and make it look easy, and I'm embarrassed. Parker Kligerman, unscheduled pit stop, was running just outside the top 10. Right front issue for the 48.
I mean, everything looks fine right now, but I don't know. I can go worse. I can barely see.
Brandon McReynolds on the roof there. Patrick Donahue on the box. Tough break, loose wheel here. He ran a long time, Joey. That's a long time from when they pitted to now. He obviously ran long. You hope he didn't do permanent damage to those studs.
And that's where it's risk versus reward. Risk is that you do damage to the studs and you can't get the wheels tight the rest of the race because the studs are all boogered up, right? They're not, I don't know a better way of explaining that.
I've never used that as a play-by-play.
Boogered up is how I'm going to say it today. You can't get the lug that's tight after that. And with 15 laps to go, you're like, man, I just want to get to the end of the stage because you know a green flag cycle isn't going to happen to where you have a chance to make this up. Now he's going to be down a lap. And, right now he's 1 lap down in 29th. The second car 1 lap down. So it's all about getting that lucky dog spot right now for Parker Kligerman.
As we go on board here with A.J. Allmendinger, up 11 spots to 15th. This is going to put him within give him a chance going into stage 3. Get into this top 15. Not any cars in front of him. Coming back to 13 laps to go. Not looking to drive into the top 10. I don't think that'll happen without a caution. But at least they've gotten past a bulk of the cars. And as we look at this 48 wheel, we get a good look as our NASCAR official steps in front of us here. Hard to see, but if Parker couldn't see, doesn't matter. The driver ultimately has the final call, even if the pit crew says they think they're tight.
Kligerman right now back to 28th, and we talk about trying to get the free pass. He's right behind Balicki when it comes to getting into that position and getting back on the lead lap. 13 to go, stage 2. Allgaier leading Chandler Smith, Custard, Herbst, and Truex. We're live in Fort Worth, Texas on FS1.
All right, so there we go. Late in the second stage of this race as of right now. Again, Justin Allgaier, your race leader, 2.4 seconds out ahead of Chandler Smith in second. Cole Custer is third. Riley Herbst fourth. Ryan Truex fifth. Austin Hill sixth. Brandon Jones seventh. Sheldon Creed eighth. Ninth for Sammy Smith. And Jeb Burton is 10th. Sam Mayer in 11th. Ryan Sieg is 12th. Taylor Gray 13th. Jesse Love 14th. A.J. Allmendinger 15th. Haley Deegan 16th. Josh Williams 17th. Jeremy Clements 18th, Anthony Alfredo 19th, and Corey Heim is 20th. Matt DiBenedetto 21st, Parker Retzlaff 22nd, Shane Van Gisbergen 23rd, Kyle Weatherman 24th, Kyle Sieg 25th, 26th for Daniel Dye. He's the last car in the lead lap. Josh Balicki, first car lap down in 27th, is actually going to get the free pass because caution is now out under commercial. Behind him, Parker Kligerman 28th, Ryan Ellis 29th, Leland Honeyman 30th, Smithley 37th, and Dawson Cram is 38th. That rounds out the field here. As of right now, again, this caution is out at lap 79. Very late in the stage. About 10 laps to go now in stage 2 at the time of the yellow. And this is our first caution for incident in stage 2. Still waiting to see exactly what it is. The only other caution was a spin by Daniel Dye in turn 2 back on lap 11. Looks like the 42 car has also spun in turn 2, and it's the second time the free pass has gone to Balicki. He got the free pass at the end of stage 1 as well and gets it back again right here. Waiting to see also, let's see, the 42 car. 42 car this weekend being driven by Leland Honeyman. Honeyman was already a lap down in the spin. Well, this is Denny Hamlin for some reason. This year he's had a lot of luck. It seems like he gets in an incident and he's like only losing a couple positions out of it. Or Kyle Larson at Richmond too, where he spun and still finished third on the very next restart. Dale Opplinger, thanks for tuning in. Yep, thanks for the 5K comment as well.
All right, we're back here at Texas, and we're surprised because the caution came out, and everybody's flipping the stage. Regan?
Justin Allgaier needs to be a little bit better into the corners on entry. Feels like the car is not in the track. That debris did come off the nose about 10 laps ago. And the 81 of Chandler Smith, too rigid over the bumps right now. It was better this run, but still needs more help. Josh?
Well, for the 21 of Austin Hill, he said he needs to be able to run the bottom better when he fires off. But it does free up as the run goes. They're going to make a small adjustment here to help him out for the 00 of Cole Custard. Still way too tight. They made a big swing last time, a smaller swing this time.
All right, so Justin Allgaier wins the race off pit road for the second consecutive time. This is the second pit stops we've seen today. 4 positions gained on pit road by Austin Hill. That 21 team has been on fire on pit road. I think they gained about 3 or 4 positions on the first stop, if not more. This stop, they gained 4 positions, gets him to second. 3 spots lost for Chandler Smith. That's the second time he has lost at least 2+ pit stops in the first 2 stops of the race. Honeyman driving that outer lane through turns 1 and 2 was sliding for a long time for finally losing control of it completely. And again, that has resulted in a caution. The Calamity Corner turns 1 and 2 this weekend. The more treacherous one on the racetrack was the result in the spin. It looks like his roof flap was kind of stuck in the air as he was circling around the racetrack. I'm sure they were going to come to pit road at some point anyway, and he's definitely going to have to try to get that back shut. See if anybody stayed out of the pits here. We may have seen some. If anybody tried to stay out to win the stage, it's going to be an interesting call. A lot of the cycle back out into the lead when stage 3 begins because we're only going to have a few laps of racing here at the end of stage 2 before that stage caution at lap 90. Again, that would be the end of stage 2 when that ends up happening. Whoa. Almost at the end of stage 2. I will put the camera back on again when we do get there so I can give you guys the diecast showing for today. I do have a classic Busch Series paint scheme. One that I think a lot of you guys will like. Especially if you're a former Junior Nation Dale Jr. fan. All right. So again, we're not going to have too many laps to go when we get back to this restart. Allgaier is going to be the leader. It doesn't look like anybody stayed out of the pits. Maybe some drivers did to get the wave around, but that would have been about it. Quite a few drivers did take the wave around because we only had 27 on the lead lap. Now we have 33. And that is because they'll be able to pit for tires and with the stage end coming soon. So good strategy. Front of the field. Then you got Custard, Herbst up there. Josh Balicki. I believe a 2-tire strategy call for him. Chandler, Josh Balicki. I would imagine it's going to work out fairly well. I mean, track position matters quite a bit. Well, no, he brought out the caution and got the free pass. So, yeah, never mind. He didn't stay out. I had to think about that for a second. I showed him 5th on the leaderboard. I think he was getting his lap back, because he did have the free pass at the time of the caution. So never mind on that. That actually puts Sam Mayer now into the top 10. They are back from the commercial break, and again, we should be moments away from the green flag. And we'll have probably 7 laps to go on the restart, if I had to guess. Six to go on the restart if they've got the 1 to go signal already. And they did. They're side by side through 3 and 4 right now. Okay, so here we go. Side by side. Headed for the restart. 6 to go. Stage 2. Playoff point on the line. Quick pit stop for Austin Hill's going to give him a chance here. He's going to be side by side with the guy who's dominated the race today, of Justin Allgaier. Green flag back in the air. The 2 Fords of SHR cars behind him of Custard and Herbst. Nobody pulling out to go 3 wide on the restart yet. Fairly tame on the restart so far today. Allgaier with the nose out in front and clear off the exit of turn 2. Looking to drive away early. Austin Hill underneath him has Cole Custer. And Hill is going to send it off into 3 and 4, and he is clear back down on the bottom. May have overdrove it just a bit. Had the lift in the middle of the corner. Slides up the racetrack. Big slide by Ryan Truex. He's up against the wall off turn 4. He's going to pedal on. Doesn't lift out of the throttle as he continues to lose positions. He's outside the top 15. Tough break for Ryan Truex. Got up against the wall pretty hard off turn 4. Still free falling in the positioning order. After running in the top 10 all day, he was top 6 really all day, until now. And we'll see if he'll have to come to pit road to make an unscheduled stop here before the end of the stage. I'm sure he'd like to try to limp it around until then. He was outside 3 wide off 4. It just got too tight, slipped out from underneath him. He was out of the groove and up against the wall. At 1.4 second advantage. Already contact around Haley Deegan, I do believe. No, actually, Chandler Smith in the 81, another Joe Gibbs Toyota. And it looked like Sheldon Creed got into the back of him. A terrible restart for Joe Gibbs Racing. Calamity around every corner. Joe Gibbs Racing is having a terrible restart. First, Ryan Truex up against the wall off turn 4. Then the 18 and the 81 get together. Nose to tail, the 81 gets chopped up out of line. He's fallen outside the top 15. He's now back in 20th. And Creed's to 12th. All of a sudden, all 3 Joe Gibbs Toyotas who were in the top probably 8 all day are now all outside the top 10. Luckily for both Chandler Smith and Sheldon Creed, they kept it off the wall, but this opens up the Dash for Cash opportunity as well for Allgaier, who was battling Chandler Smith for that Dash for Cash running, along with Sheldon Creed. They both kind of got into each other there. Not kind of, they did. Creed into the back of the 81. And that gigantic gap between first and second continues to grow. A 1.4 second difference now, coming up on the last lap of the stage. 1 lap to go in the stage. Great run quietly for Brandon Jones. He's up to 4th on the restart. Ryan Sieg trying to hold on to 5th as he battles Austin Hill for that spot. Sammy Smith is right there as well. All 4 Junior Motorsport cars are now in the top 9. I haven't really seen Brandon Jones contend for any wins at Junior Motorsports yet. Maybe today could be the day as he slowly progresses his way through the field. Justin Allgaier leads every lap of Stage 2, goes on to sweep the stages today at Texas, picking up his 2nd and 3rd stage wins on the season, matching him for the most on the year through these first now 8 races once the checkered flag flies today. Cole Custer ends up 2nd in Stage 2, Riley Herbst 3rd, Brandon Jones 4th, and Ryan Sieg 5th. Sammy Smith 6th, 7th for Austin Hill, Jesse Love 8th, AJ Allmendinger 9th, and Sam Mayer rounds out the top 10. Again, that is your Stage 2 results here at Texas. Frank Powers, thanks for tuning into the stream as well. Where can we expect Dale Jr. to race tonight? I don't know. Maybe he's got a Cars Tour race somewhere. If not, then he is probably at the track at Texas watching his own cars on the racetrack. So we'll end the poll. 65 votes. We are at the end of Stage 2. 43% of you took A.J. Allmendinger to win, and so far, that is the case. He has swept the stages, trying to get his first win for both himself and Junior Motorsports this season. 33% say somebody other than Allgaier, Smith, or Love are going to get the win. 15% for Chandler Smith, who just fell back to 20th on that last restart, got chopped up on a line by the 18, his teammate, nonetheless. And 7% of you say that the pole sitter Jesse Love will win. He has not been a factor all day today. Led the first lap and then has quickly fallen out of the top 10. No stage points for Love today, even though he, again, qualified on the pole, led the first lap. Actually, no, he did get back to 8th. So maybe they've worked on the car a little bit. He does get a few stage points, but not as many as you would have thought he would have gotten. Came in 4th in the regular season standings, and it's a tough opportunity to try to gain on it. You look at all the drivers in the battle for the regular season championship right now. Cole Custer, who's second in points, is actually having the biggest points day so far, finishing top 5 in Stage 1 and Stage 2. Chandler Smith, who got 9 points in Stage 1, again fell back to 20th. We'll see if he can get back up there. 23rd, in fact. Look at all the Joe Gibbs Toyotas. 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 12th are all 4 of them. That is tough. But then if we look at the Junior Motorsports Chevys, again, all of them in the top 10. The end of the stage. And also, credit to A.J. Allmendinger getting up to 9th before the end of Stage 2. He restarted at the tail end of the lead lap because of during the Stage 1 pit stop. So the pit stops at the end of Stage 1. For the start of the stage, he actually ended up going through his box, had to come back down on the pit road the next time. So went from about 26th, 27th up to 9th over that 45-lap second stage. And because we saw pit stops somewhat recently, I would imagine that we are not going to get any pit stops here. Is that All-American in Jacksonville, North Carolina for Cars Tour race? Well, there we go. Yeah, I was wondering if he was running tonight. There's the answer. Not going to have you listen into the broadcast during this break because I do have to get the diecast showing out for you guys. So let me get the camera up. Maybe a couple seconds. Hi. All right, here is the diecast showing for today. It is a Dale Earnhardt Jr. 2005 Busch Chevrolet, the Oreo Ritz car, a classic from anybody who might have played the NASCAR 06 Total Team Control game. I actually ran as this, with this paint scheme. Part of the reason why I had bought this diecast when I did, I believe I got it at Bristol, not last year, the year before, I do believe. I think 2021 Bristol Night Race, or 2022 Bristol Night Race. I ended up getting this. Oh, no, it would have been the dirt race. I didn't go to the night race that year. The dirt race, Bristol, 2022 is when I bought it. But yeah, the Oreo Ritz Chevrolet, it's actually a chrome version of it, I think, because that's why it is a bit shinier, even with the slight bit of dust on it still. But yeah. Bought this because when we ran the NASCAR 6 Total Team Control season on the channel, you guys voted for me to race as Dale Jr. This was one of the paint schemes. I liked it. Don't really remember him running the 81 too much in my childhood. I think he only did it for that season when he ran part-time in the Busch Series and had some wins in the car. Most notably, he won at Daytona, if I'm not mistaken. 2005, sorry. I might have said 2006. 2005, he did win at Daytona, the season opener. Not with this car. It was the Menards 81 car, but he did win in the 81 in the Busch Series that season. I do not have that Menards diecast. I got a lot of Dale Jr. diecasts. He always had some really good ones. Him and Kevin Harvick through my childhood into my early adult life now, like, they always had, like, the best paint schemes. Heavily opinionated, but yeah, for sure. Stream the Cars Tour race tonight. I can't do that. We did have some cars on pit road there.
Challenging late. However, we get a long green flag run and everything falls just right. These drivers could be in a decent position later on.
Nah.
Justin Allgaier is the race leader. He's led 65 of 94 laps here this afternoon.
We did have green flag pit stops in the truck race at Texas last night, only to have a caution during the midst of green flag pit stops, which trapped over half the field a lap down. We'll see if we get something like that here in this one. Have a similar amount of cautions really to this point in the race like we did in the truck series as well. I think 2 for incident in the truck series in the first 2 stages and 2 for incident in the first 2 stages of this Xfinity race as well, in just 10 more laps than the truck series had. In total, this race is only 33 laps longer than the truck race, an extra 50 miles. And I think they finished at 7 cautions total last night. They had 3 in the final stage. Congrats, obviously, again to Kyle Busch for getting the win. And we'll see who's going to win this one. It will not be a Cup regular, though. There are no Cup regulars in the Xfinity Series field today. The only 2 last night that ran were Zane Smith and Kyle Busch. Smith had a pretty solid day as well. Ran top 5 for most of it, but Kyle Busch was one who dominated. Won both stages, got the race win. Allgaier wins the first 2 stages today, and now trying to get the race win as well. Busch had the battle in the late going. Corey Heim was right there in his back bumper at the finish, and actually had gotten passed on a late race restart by Christian Eckes. But it didn't really get past. They were side by side when the caution came out. They ran side by side for about a full lap after the restart, and Eckes was barely out ahead of Busch. And Busch actually fell to second place on that next restart when he didn't have the control lane, and after a couple laps, he had gotten to the lead, which ultimately was the final restart of the race with about 8 to go, when Kyle Busch got back out in front and led to the end. Led the most laps in that one, and so far here today, Justin Allgaier's led the most with 66 laps led and counting, and we'll see how many more he can lead as this race continues on. We'll continue the live commentary coverage. Sure to hit the like button if you guys haven't done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. Just hit 5,000 subscribers earlier on the stream. Our goal is to get to 100 likes on this stream as well. We are at 59 right now, at about the halfway point. I forgot I had to turn the camera off. Get the bit rate back where it needs to be. There we go, we're good. If it was lagging for a little bit, it's because the camera was on. I had it on for the diecast show and I forgot I left it on. Here we are. Sorry for that. I had to text somebody back real quick. Let them know I'm streaming. All right, so we are getting ready for the restart. Allgaier again is the leader. We didn't see a lot of the cars at the very front of the field hit pit road. Drivers who ended up basically pitting there was everybody that took the wave route. Maybe some drivers at the back half of the lead lap. Of course, we saw a lot of those Joe Gibbs Toyotas fall back pretty far in the field, so trying a different strategy there as well. On this restart, it'll be Allgaier, Custard on the front row. In row 2, it'll be Riley Herbst, Brandon Jones, Ryan Sieg, Sammy Smith up there in row 3. A lot of Chevys and Fords at the front. No Toyotas to be found so far. Middle of the race, green flag in the air. Another great restart for Justin Allgaier in the 7. And a big slip up, it looked like, from Custard in that outside lane in the middle of 1 and 2. Didn't hold his line very well. Boxed in Brandon Jones behind him. 3 wide into turn 3 goes Austin Hill as he dive bombs by the 39 of Ryan Sieg. Can't quite clear Sammy Smith, who is also to the outside. Now he does. Smith might have blipped the throttle a bit in 3 and 4. Great job by the 21 there. It looked like Brandon Jones just about clipped the grass on the front stretch. He might have. Didn't really get unsteady into the corner, thankfully. Very back of the pack. A lot of damage on the 66 left front of Timmy Hill's race car. I do believe Hill's in that car today. He ran the truck race last night. Chad Fincham, tail end of the pack in the 66. Has the damage limping his way to pit road. Unbelievable how Allgaier's already 1.2 seconds out ahead just 2 laps after the restart. And a great job by Sammy Smith to get the third. Gaining 3 positions, getting by Custard, Jones, and Sieg. Austin Hill up out of the groove and loses a lot of positions off turn 2. He's going to fall out of the top 10. Seen several drivers do that already. That actually moves Creed back into the top 10, getting by Hill at the end of the backstretch. And Hill's still stuck on the outside. Seen a lot of big-name Xfinity drivers have that problem in the middle of the pack on these restarts in turns 1 and 2 where they get just a slight bit up and out of the groove. Custard trying to get a spot back on Sammy Smith for third. Completes the pass through 3 and 4. Brandon Jones trying to get underneath his teammate as well off turn 4 and does. Side by side are the 9 and the 8 car. Oh, trouble. Jeb Burton's around on the front stretch, sliding down into the grass. Oh, man, tough break. He had a fast car, got up into the top 10 a little bit ago. I think he was just outside the top 10 after this restart, but was having a good day. Not a lot of damage on the race car. He actually slid pretty close to his pit box, so I'm not going to go for a pit stop there. Oh, he does have damage on the right rear corner panel. I didn't think he did. He might have tagged the wall just a bit there, the tail end of that spin.
More intense as it's going around here, especially on these restarts. Cars are getting loose a lot. Here we see the 27 of Jeb Burton off of turn 4, kind of right where those bumps are, Ross, and breaks loose, tags it with the right rear. And in these cars, that's a very sensitive spot.
It is, and you know, he pitted. We didn't hear his radio, but he was probably talking with Shane and saying, "I want to work. I want to work on this car. I'll get you back up there, man." As we see him through 3 and 4 here on board the state water heaters. These bumps. You heard the bottom out. You heard the sound. Hit hard enough that the right side window came loose. So solid. His hands were so steady until the bump. Right there, just kind of starts coming around.
Obviously, pretty bad air situation as well, right? 2 cars side by side like that in front of you. Kind of a tough spot as you come off of turn 4. The wind's blowing a lot today. On top of all that, let's not forget to mention that the wind can get a gust and off you go.
It's been a tough season for that team, the 27 group. But next week, we go to Talladega, where he will enter the defending race winner. So maybe that'll breathe a little confidence into the group. Under caution at Texas.
All right, so we are now under our first caution of stage 3, our third caution for incident total, and our 5th caution entirely in the race when you count the 2 stage ends at lap 45 and lap 90. And again, this was Jeb Burton with the spin off of turn number 4. So it takes away already the early big lead of stage 3 for Justin Allgaier with this caution, but he's been absolutely perfect on the restart so far. Continues to, just hold on to it more and more. I'm sure he'll be okay. Track getting slicker in the hottest part of the day. Hold on to your seat for the end of the race. Yep, definitely seeing cars dance around quite a bit. Track had a lot more grip in the morning for Cup Series practice. It definitely seemed like cars were a little bit more on edge and looser into qualifying, maybe more trimmed out as well. Might have affected that as well. But definitely seeing some more of that in this portion of the race. 97 laps still to go. I think, Allgaier is going to be tough to beat here. I mentioned last night that it wasn't over with late race restarts. If somebody could have gotten around Busch with how hard it is to pass here, that they could have taken him down. That almost happened. And I didn't say that just because I didn't pick Kyle Busch to win, or I'm not saying that just because I didn't pick Justin Allgaier to win, but it goes to show anything could happen here. Still have to be able to execute time in and time out. There's still one more pit stop left in this race, although Allgaier's picker's been really good so far today. I'd say the best picker has probably been Austin Hill. He seems to gain like 3 or 4 positions on pit road every time. Two stops, he gained at least 4 positions, I think, on both of them. Obviously, he fell back on this last restart, is currently 10th. He fell to 11th, then got back around Creed right before this caution came out. So that's where he sits currently. $80 degrees in Fort Worth. Yeah, similar temperature tomorrow, too. And they also mentioned on the broadcast there is a bit of wind at the track today also. Kimmy Walrus, thanks for tuning in. SVG is more talented than 5 of the top 10. I'll let you guys be the judge of that.
And you look at the season for this duo, it's quite interesting because they bounced around. Of course, Custard, the reigning champion. And I looked the other day, if you look at his performance through 7 races this year compared to last year, it's pretty far ahead this season in comparison to 2023. Herbst off to a great start, got bounced around a little bit. You see some of the inconsistency, but today, nice comeback for that group.
Yeah, both those cars seem to be pretty solid, and they're solid every week, right? Those two Stewart-Haas cars, they run comparable to each other, and it seems like, Cole, with the experience that he has, he's able to really maximize his runs, and I think that's what Cole's doing today. He doesn't have the fastest car. He's done a great job at maintaining track position by having good restarts, playing good defense, and doing the details great on pit road.
And A. Ford is winless this year. Let's get a quick update from pit road. Austin Hill came in, Josh.
Yeah, and Austin Hill came in because the adjustments they made last time, he said, made that car much, much worse. Just the handling in that car was not where they needed to be. So when they came in, they made an air pressure, a chassis adjustment. So pitting out of strategy, but the car was just struggling for Austin Hill.
And they should have 1 set of tires left.
Yep.
For later in the race, but everyone right now outside their fuel window, and that's why we didn't see more drivers come down the pit lane. I say outside the fuel window, I mean to pit now and be able to go the rest of the way.
We're only halfway through the race, Adam.
Yeah.
We're coming back to 94 laps to go. And you see that with this 7th car out front, 3.5 tenths faster than these 2 SHR cars right behind him for fast lap. That 7 is so fast. He ran his fastest laps, and a couple of them did, on that last restart, just this last run.
Yeah, I'd say on a restart like this, if I'm Cole Custer, I'm just trying to break the plane to that bumper so he doesn't get down to the bottom.
All right, Justin Allgaier on the front row. Another great launch in the restart zone. Green flag back in the air. See if the 7 car can get it done. Turns 1 and 2, side by side for second between the SHR boys of Herbst and Custer. Brandon Jones thought about going up the middle, 3 wide, lane closes. He's stuck on the inside now behind Custer on the back straight. Gonna bump draft him, let go before getting into turn 3. Custer carries a lot of speed on corner entry, pulls clear of the 98 car as a result of that, and he doesn't fall as far behind Allgaier on the restart this time, but is still over a half a second behind him. Justin pulls clear in the middle of 1 and 2, and because the cars for second stay side by side at least into 3 and 4, that's why Allgaier gets out to such big leads on these restarts. He's timing it out so well that he doesn't have to worry about getting stuck side by side for a long enough period of time that keeps the field. As Brandon Jones is going to slide clear, highest running position for Jones today. Herb's going to try the crossover move, though, as he gets back underneath the 9. Side drafting quite a bit at the end of the front stretch between those 2 cars. Jones on the outside lane through turns 1 and 2. Going to try to hold on to it. As he does off the exit of the corner, Herbst is going to have to duck in line behind him on the back straightaway. AJ Allmendinger up to 5th. Highest running position he has had so far today. And he's closing in on this battle for third place in front of him as Herbst again back to the inside of Brandon Jones, who slipped up the track in the middle of 3 and 4. Down to just 91 laps to go and counting down. Ryan Segan can be able to get the power down quickly on the bottom lane of Allmendinger through 1 and 2. AJ with a lot of speed. Going to back way off into turns 3 and 4, getting into the corner. And if Sieg is nearly full throttle getting in, he almost had a shot to get underneath the 16. He was all over that left rear corner panel, just couldn't quite sneak underneath him. Last couple laps, Allmendinger 0.3 of a second faster than Cole Custer. A 1.2 second lead for Allgaier now. Third place on back already, almost 2.5 seconds off the lead. Update on the JGR Toyotas. Sheldon Creed again in 10th. The rest of them that fell back. Ryan Truex is 17th. I don't know where Chandler Smith is at. Smith is 28th. And Taylor Gray's 24th. It was a good start to the day for Chandler Smith. Qualified well, was running second. Once he got up out of the groove there on that last restart, he has not been able to go forward at all. I think that's the second time this year that it's been a little bit of running on the track between Creed and Smith. Austin Hill and Haley Deegan battling for position. Looks like for 18th on the racetrack. And Brandon Jones and Riley Herbst just continue to battle for third. Herbst has gotten back around the 9. 9 trying to battle back. Definitely using their tires up early in the run. Although they don't have to worry about too much fall off here. I would say there's probably going to be more in this Xfinity race than the other races this weekend, as there usually is anyway with these cars. It's a lot more limited downforce. Update on Anthony Alfredo running 11th. I believe that's as high as he's been in the running order today. And he came into this race around there in points, inside that cutoff line, so needs a good run today. And again, so far so good. Parker Kligerman in 12th. He's come from a lap down. Had to make an unscheduled pit stop in stage 2 for a loose wheel. Fell all the way back. Again, a lap down. He got the wave around towards the end of stage 1. And with that quick reset and the caution, great job by Parker driving himself back into 11th now as he just passed Alfredo for that position. Chandler Smith, a few more spots gained to 25th. Ooh, and big slide by Parker Retzlaff on screen through 3 and 4. Dancing his way through 3 and 4 that time. Didn't make his way through it, though. It's kind of showing an update of some of those drivers just outside the top 10 in the finishing order right now. Josh Williams in 15th. We can go through the full top 10 on our leaderboard here as we're in the midst of this green flag run. Still one more pit stop to go in the race today. Justin Allgaier is currently the race leader. Got a lot of noise going on in there. I don't know if you guys could hear that or not. Portman, a room either, I don't know if it's next to me or up above me. One or the other. All right, so anyway, back into the top 10 here. Sorry for that pause. Just getting sidetracked by the noises around me. Justin Allgaier with a 2-second lead over Cole Custer right now. Riley Herbst sits in third. He's 2.2. Sheldon Creed, 4.4 seconds back in 9th, and 10th place in the running order is Jesse Love. Love is 5 seconds off the race lead. Still 81 laps to go, though, in this race. Again, a long ways yet in this one. And these guys can go quite a ways on fuel yet. I would imagine they're going to split the stage in half, maybe even just before halfway. Because remember, a lot of these teams pitted before that final restart in stage number 2. A lot of these teams at the front of the field, they really only have 6 more laps on their tires than everybody that would have taken the wave around and had gotten back on the lead lap that way and then just pitted during the stage break. So with where we are currently, got quite a few drivers on the lead lap as a result of that. Even Jeff Burton, who just most recently had a spin and has some damage to the right rear corner panel of his race car, he's in 35th, last car on the lead lap. Nobody's out of the race yet. Saw 7 DNFs in the truck race last night with 34 of them in the field. And in this race here today, no DNFs so far, even with the 3 cautions for incidents. Allgaier's led 92 laps of the 121 that have been ran. And that was after qualifying, I believe, inside the top 5 as well. 1 lap led for Brandon Jones, probably on pit road, if I had to guess. Same for Cole Custer. Jesse Love led the first lap of the race, and then 26 laps led under green flag conditions for Chandler Smith back in stage number 1. So those are the 5 different drivers to lead at least 1 lap, and we've had 6 lead changes in the race as well on top of it. So a pretty straightforward race so far. Current average race speed is 121.21 miles per hour, just over an hour and a half into this race. I'll let you listen into more of the, and that'll be the last time I'll play that Xfinity Cup Series races, so you get a mix of listening to everybody in the booth, overall like Fox or NBC broadcast, whoever's covering the race, as well as my own personal broadcast. That lead's been trimmed down a little bit here. Brandon Jones got into 2nd place. Cole Custer starting to slip back over the course of this longer green flag run. And with that being said, again, Brandon Jones up to 2nd, 1.7 seconds off the lead. That last lap, he was only about 14 one-thousandths of a second off of Justin Allgaier's time, lap time that last lap. Riley Herbst is also running quicker than the race leader, and that could be because of lap traffic at the tail end of the field as well. It does look like there is some lap traffic being had. It looks like Jeff Burton has just gone a lap down. Blaine Perkins right in front of the leaders. But ever since Cole Custer fell out of 2nd, though, he's falling backwards. We got other drivers starting to move forward. We haven't seen a green flag run longer than 30 laps today, so maybe the 7 car does have some sort of major fall off. Maybe he's using more of the right rear tire. We'll have to just wait and see.
Racing to do here today. Chandler Smith on the board as well after starting up front earlier this afternoon.
Had some young faces on that promo there, and a younger Kevin Harvick. I'm sitting here. I look down at the box I'm working with my headset. My name is lightly taped over Kevin. So I will say, Kevin, I'll try to keep your area here clean for tomorrow.
Good battle here. The 18 trying to get underneath. The Edison Smith makes a nice clean. Made it look easy. I know it wasn't easy, but it made it look easy.
Brandon Jones had a great rally there. Got around both those cars from Stewart Haas. Was up to 2nd, but Riley Herbst showing what he's got on the long haul. Flashes back by to the runner-up spot.
We see these guys, even with Brandon Jones, in commercial we were talking, Joey, he had it down to 1.7. Now Herbst has actually passed him within a second and a quarter of Allgaier, but we heard Jim Pullman talking about 50%. Wants the biggest lead he can have. He doesn't want to burn his tires up doing it, but he doesn't want it to go now within a second. That's not what Justin wants.
I feel like that's a little closer than he would like to be as they kind of work through traffic, but this 98 around the Herb's looking pretty strong at the moment, able to move his way through the field.
He's qualifying on the pole. He's getting his RPM shifts done, upshifts in qualifying. But then when you come to the race, all this is new, like we talked about earlier. He's been racing some ARCA cars. He's done dirt racing, but never these mile and a half and these NASCAR Xfinity Series cars. Seeing a lot of these tracks for the first time, working with his crew for the first time here inside the top 10 with Parker, an Alliance car at RCR with Big Machine Racing, and Scott Borchetta, a guy that races himself, but he lets his team do their thing. They're fighting for both for a top 10.
Yeah, we talked about Jesse Love earlier in the race, too. He's starting on the pole. We said in practice he probably doesn't know exactly what he needs for the race. This is a classic rookie into a new series, and he's doing a great job because he learned his lesson early in the race. Oh, my gosh, my car doesn't drive very good. It's way too loose. Make some adjustments. That's what the team wants to see, is when you make adjustments and the car gets better. And that's what Jesse Love's been able to do is survive through the first run, make some adjustments, get the car faster, and start scratching and crawling his way through the field. When he comes to these racetracks the second time, the third, fourth time, he's going to have an idea of what he needs, and he won't have to go through that first part of the race where he struggles a little bit trying to figure out the balance.
Yeah, we saw there Riley Herbst, Justin Allgaier lapping by Garrett Smithley there going a second lap down the 6-car trophy tractor, a longtime sponsor of his, and other drivers, Stephen Parsons Friday night, got their first top 10. For a sponsor, a Texas-based company, Jeff Miller and his group, that has been in this sport for years, getting their first top 10 with that 75 truck last night was a big deal. It was cool for them, cool to watch, cool to see that progression of Stephen behind the wheel as well.
I'm impressed with Ross being able to know a lot of names.
Here's a guy
It's very impressive.
he's knocked on a lot of doors in the garage, hasn't he?
Everybody.
It's all about building relationships. Hey, it was a sad week for everyone in the NASCAR community. Bob Labonte passed away, won 2 championships in the NASCAR Xfinity Series as an owner, the father to both Bobby and Terry in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Our condolences to the entire Labonte family.
Top 10 in the running order with 68 laps to go just before we are getting into the final pit stops of the race today. When that run, the 98, the 9 have been faster than the race leader in the 7. So again, Herbst in 2nd, Brandon Jones 3rd, A.J. Allmendinger 4th, Sam Mayer 5th, Cole Custer 6th, Ryan Sieg 7th, Sheldon Creed 8th, Sammy Smith 9th, Jesse Love is 10th. That is your top 10. Again, 66 laps to go. And that fuel window is going to open up in about another 5 to 10 laps on the racetrack at Texas Motor Speedway. So he still has track position leading, but no longer a 2.5+ second lead like he had at the beginning of this green. They really got that car working back in the right direction for him. And the JGR Toyotas outside of Sheldon Creed have not recovered. Again, Taylor Gray still 15th. Chandler Smith still 22nd. Ryan Truex still 18th. I'm not surprised Truex is still back there because he did hit the wall pretty hard up turn 4. I am surprised Chandler Smith's back there. I didn't really think he had any damage to his race car. And he's still been mired outside the top 20 ever since he fell there off that restart where contact was made again with Sheldon Creed. 3 drivers within 0.8 of a second of the race lead. 2 Chevys and a Ford, 2 for Junior Motorsports, and of course the Ford at Stewart-Haas Racing. And although there hasn't been a whole lot of tire fall off today, maybe still the call to come to pit road first could be the difference when you're within that close of the race lead. You can pit a lap before Justin Allgaier. That could be enough to swing it if you have a fast enough pit stop. The 7 team's been on it so far today, but they have made mistakes on pit road numerous times this season. Even though they are 2 for 2 so far, still got 1 more to go, and this one is code of the money stop. Sheldon Creed's moving up in the running order, 7th, just past Ryan Sieg. Definitely some long run speed of that car. Sam Mayer 5th. And remember, the dash for the cash is still on. Allgaier had been dominating not only the race, but the dash for cash running as well. considering the other drivers haven't really been anywhere close to him for quite some time. Chandler Smith put up a fight in the first stage, finished second to Allgaier, and I mentioned that he had led over 20 laps in the first stage as well, but since Chandler has fallen outside the top 20, it doesn't really look like he's going to have much of a chance to win the $100,000 unless something crazy happens here. But Sam Mayer driving up the 5th, Sheldon Creed up the 7th, kind of working themselves forward. You can't count them out of the $100,000 as well. Even if Allgaier ends up losing the lead and loses this race, he still has that to fight for. 0.3 of a second now, the gap between first and second. Cole Custard going to be the first lead lap driver to come to pit road. He'll pit from the 6th place position. Allgaier almost got picked behind the last car of Dawson Cram in turns 1 and 2. Herbst got underneath him for a brief moment. Riley Herbst running down the veteran. And neither the 98 or the 7 are going to pit this time either.
Stops. You come down here, get your service. It's been right around 60 laps since they last came down there prior to the end of stage 2.
Guys, this race can be decided on this pit cycle, Joey. These top 3 leaders are all right together. Close enough. If one beats the other one to pit road, gets on and off pit road with those fresh tires, that could be the difference.
Well, right now, if I'm Riley Herbst, bring me in. Hit me right now. I want to short pit that 7 of Justin Allgaier and try to jump up in front of him. I think the 7,
They're pitting. They're all
here they
coming.
come.
Brandon
No one
Jones.
got to jump him.
Jesse Love making his stop. And the top 3 in as well. Allgaier, Herbst, and Jones, Regan.
That's right, the leaders all coming to pit road right now. The 7 car of Justin Allgaier said a few laps ago he just got too free past where it lands, so he needs a little help with that. In the 98 of Riley Herbst in 2nd place. Riley Herbst a little bit too tight with the right front. Josh?
Echo the 9 of Brandon Jones. It's been a strong run for him so far today. His biggest problem, he needs to be better center exit of 2. Deal, but not quite.
17 holding serve here as we see Brandon Jones down the end of pit road, but the 7 car going to be clear and free off pit road as long as no speeding. Keeps the lead.
A.J. Allmendinger also making a pit stop. He was inside the top 5. So when all this cycles through, that should be the battle for the top spot. And as you said, Ross, Justin Allgaier holding serve in that cycle of green flag pit stops, but many others going to run this a little longer, including Sheldon Creed, who has taken over the top spot with 56 to go.
And I like this strategy. So here's what they're thinking here. They're saying, okay, the fastest way on paper to run this 100-lap span is to split it right in the center. Now, the leaders, they decided to short pit it because they didn't want to get jumped and lose track position because it's very hard to pass cars, right? It's slower to pass cars. But by Sheldon Creed staying out here, he's going to have 5 to 7 lap newer tires than everybody. That may be enough to be able to pass those cars back and be able to maybe net out a few spots if it runs green the rest of the race.
Yeah, and when I'm in this scenario, if we're gonna do it, I want to do it. I want to go long. I don't want 5 or 7 laps. I've been behind the wheel of that 18 as we see him on pit road now. I want to go longer. I'm not the one making that call, just like Sheldon's not either.
Taylor Gray is in. Arthur Kligerman in the 48. 18 is Sheldon Creed, who had inherited the race lead. Going to make his green flag pit stop with 54 laps to go. That puts Austin Hill out front. Now remember, Austin came down at lap 104, right? So he can run this thing quite a bit longer. And a tire sneaking away there on the pit stop for Creed.
Penalty. I think when you put your hand down like that, I don't think you can do that. See Austin Hill. Yeah, it won't be long. We see Austin Hill leading through 3 and 4 as we were watching that really high in 3 and 4. You don't know if he was intending to be that high he's really pushing the limit. We'll see this time. That's up there. That is aggressive, but obviously experienced guy knows what he needs to do to make lap time. Now it's all about this. This is all this is about. Make lap time, minimize the time loss as these other leaders are going to be coming by him and getting, whether they're getting back in the lead lap, as we see, Riley Herbst, Custard next up. Justin Allgaier has already done that. Caution comes out now. He's free and clear. These other guys are just trying to get to that 21 as quick as they can.
Top 8 cars in our pylon will have to make a pit stop, and here you see Herbst has gone by, Custer and Allmendinger trying to do the same, trying to get themselves back on the lead lap. So should a caution come out, they'd be in a much better position here as we've hit 51 laps to go.
But I like this here for the 21 car. He's putting on his last set of tires. That's another piece that he has to think about. So he is more incentivized to stay out because if the caution comes out with 20 to go, he's got no tires left anyway. So he may run long and try to trap some cars down a lap and try to, get a lucky caution.
There was a penalty for Sheldon Creed on the tire, so they will have to do a pass-through penalty. Unfortunate for them because they'd spent a good portion of this final stage, early part of the final stage, inside the top 10. Austin Hill leads. Ryan Truex is second. Shane Van Gisbergen is third. Chandler Smith, Kyle Weatherman, Leland Honeyman, Matt DiBenedetto. The top 7 all going to have to make a pit stop. But right now they've put themselves in a decent spot. Should we get a caution?
And you go back as this cycle continues to cycle. That job by the 17, Justin Allgaier, getting on and off pit road, distancing himself from those guys that had chased him down by raw speed. He did not want that gap to get that close, Joey, but when that pressure was on, that Jim Coleman-led team did the work. Justin, experienced guy, got on and off pit road. Clearly, really, really good. Together with the pit crew, did better than the other two.
It was the pit stop is what did it. Because when they got on the pit road, they were all great with each other. The pit stop seemed very fast.
When you look at the comparison, the team was able to execute and win the battle in the green flag stop by 2 seconds.
Yeah, Joey, get that pin out.
I got you. So here you see the totals. But the difference here is the crew time. The pit crew, they were able to make up most of that time, that big chunk, and that just lets Justin breathe for a second. Let me get out here, work through some of the traffic, and look at the difference that makes on the racetrack. You may say, boy, what's a second and a half? I mean, that can't be that long. Well, when you're going 180 miles an hour, a second and a half is a lot of distance on the racetrack and control of the race.
You think he's back to that 50% gap management?
I think he may go a little harder this time.
We see him go by Haley Deegan, that 15. AM Racing, Tim Self, a guy. I raced with Austin in the Truck Series. We've done some, he's off racing dirt cars now. And you see this team grow. And when I first heard about their ambitions with their group they had together, you think, can they do it? Can they really go out and show up every week with an Xfinity car in this series, new to it? And they've done it. Been in the Truck Series. I'm working with their former crew chief, Mike Hutton Jr. At Nice Motorsports, and you see the progression, and you see the thing starting to click as a driver. I remember when I was driving in the Xfinity Series, road courses were my thing. I went to Justin Marks asking him when he was driving the 42 for Ganassi, and I texted him one day and I said, hey, I think it's starting to click. And he said, I love to see it, brother. And it's moments like that I see with drivers like Haley that it's starting to put together. Clean days is what she needs. Run all the laps and continue to learn. Let that team get those cars better for her.
This would be the battle for second on track. Sam Mayer trying to run down Riley Hurst. And I say it would be the battle for second because they are second and third in line of those drivers that have already made a pit stop. Officially 8th and 9th. Body going to have to come under green. Of those top 6 I'm referring to.
Well, this is a junior motorsports car, right? We talked about how strong the 7 is. Well, the 9 of Brennan Jones was boogieing at the end of that last stint before they made the green flag stop. Now you have Sam Mayer, the 1, the JRM car that's putting pressure on Riley Herbst right now to try to make this pass. They got speed today. They got a lot of speed.
It's something we've seen out of Sam. Not always starting off the best or having the best stages, but putting a race like Martinsville, drives up, takes the lead, passes all the JGR cars. Now you see him. The SHR cars have been the second best group. Now we see him ahead of Cole and right on Riley's bumper as he slides off the 2 there.
Ryan Truex, you see the pylon coming down pit road. Was up inside the top 3, but he had to give up track position to make a scheduled green flag pit stop. Won last week at Martinsville, second 2 weeks ago in Richmond, won earlier this season at Las Vegas, and Ryan Truex back behind the wheel for the 3rd time this year. We'll also see him next week at Talladega and a couple of weeks' time at Dover, where he won last year. This is not 4th position. Ryan Sieg has made a pit stop Austin Hill is the race leader. He'll have to come down.
Getting back on the lead lap here, Ryan. See, it's so hard to describe when you're racing in that, outside of those top couple, to get back on the lead lap quickly, like we saw a while ago with Cole Custer, the 98, the 7. But for Ryan, see, this could be the make or break point of his race. This could be the Custard speed move of the race, just getting back on that lead lap. And if the caution comes out now, he's able to just stay with that lead pack, not have to wave around. He can pit if he wants. It opens up the box for that 39 car. It's hard to put into words how important that is at this moment.
Puts him into 6th in the running order after everyone cycles through with their pit stop. Now we take a look at our Toyota top performers. He's best of the bunch right now, Chandler Smith. He's going to have to make a pit stop. Taylor Gray had an unbelievable save early. Just saw Ryan Truex making his stop under green back in the 21st position.
Yeah, it really hasn't been their day. Chandler showed some speed early in the race. Getting that damage has really hurt him. And right now they're taking a bit of a gamble, right? This is their chance. They're hoping, man, somebody just spin out or something. That's what they're hoping, to get a caution, and then they can throw in their set of tires at 38 laps to go. But I don't think it's going to happen, and time is running out, and they're going to have to pit here shortly.
Guys, as we look at this, we zoom out. I'm going to need a bigger screen to see the gap between the 7, the 98, and the 1 here. It goes back to that pit through time, all that went into that got the gap for the 7. The 1 has a shot. He has put himself, Marty Lindley has made the adjustments to match the speed now, as we see him work up into the second and a half lane in turns 1 and 2. He's got a shot. Now, if he can go up there and pass the 98.7, we don't know. But at least he has a shot, just like Martinsville. And that's what Sam Mayer has gotten better at through last year, 2023. In the years before that, he didn't make the car better. But you see that in his progression as a driver. From the very first time he walked into the WISE program out behind Ganassi to now, the transformation I've seen from him as a driver. His dad was driving him there, Adam. He couldn't even drive his own vehicle over there. Then he's racing ARCA as we see Chandler Smith coming to pit road.
He finally gives up his spot and makes a green flag stop. Chandler Smith.
That damage, Joey, really hurting that car. They ran this long. Now, if they have to pit, there's no way they're going to overcome that left front damage.
They ran so hard. We talked about splitting halfway to the fastest. They went way past the split. They were banking on a caution. They went for that strategy. They never got it. They'll pay the price in the finishing order.
That's fine. SVG on the same strategy. We saw Kyle Weatherman, the tweaker Chevy, on pit road just a few laps ago with Mario Goslin. They did the same thing. I love it. For SVG, what does he have to lose? He's learning. And as I train with Shane, a guy that's going to run 1,000 kilometers this year, 365 days. He's on pace to do it. He's got some buddies back home. They want to do that. He's such an inspiration to me because
you're talking about on foot.
On foot. On his feet.
I thought you were telling a tractor story again.
No, I know I get rambling, but
I thought we were talking about Bathurst or something.
No, it's so cool to see his Worldwide Express Chevy there and see him learning and see him come back every week and then have the smile, and he's talks about how cool it is to see Kyle Weatherman on those new tires, like I talked about, left rear rubbing. That'll clearance itself, keep running, stay ahead of that 21 to stay one more lap from down.
Austin Hill still leads. He's going to be on pit road soon under green, and that will cycle things back to Justin Allgaier. 33 laps to go. We're going side by side on FS1.
This race is not over yet, I will say. Riley Herbst and Sam Mayer are catching Justin Allgaier again as they did towards the tail end of that last tire stint. Herbst got underneath Allgaier. In fact, a lap and a half before they ended up pitting, couldn't make the pass for the lead in the midst of lap traffic, but that's how close he got from about 2.5 seconds back. When they exited pit road and got up to speed, Justin Allgaier had actually opened the gap up to about 3 to 3.5 seconds this time, and now the gap between these two drivers is only about 1.5 seconds. So, again, Riley Herbst, Sam Mayer on the long run seem to be quicker than Justin Allgaier. We still have 33 laps to go in this race. There's plenty of time for that 98 car to get up there. And each of these top three, once Austin Hill hits pit road, have not won a race yet this season. In fact, if you want to go even further than that, everybody who will be in the top 7, 8, 9, 10, really everybody in the top 10 in the running order has not won a race yet this season. So there is a very high likelihood that we are going to get a new winner on the Xfinity Series season. We will see another driver lock themselves into the playoffs that is not Austin Hill or Chandler Smith. And it's going to be interesting to see who that is going to be. Again, Allgaier has dominated the day, but the long runs have not been favoring him, even though he hasn't lost the lead yet on the racetrack, at least by way of these longer green flag runs. He's come close, but this is going to be the longest, on tires to the end of the race. I mean, they pitted as soon as the window opened with about 57, 58 to go. He hasn't had to go that many laps on tires yet. Close at the beginning of this stage, but remember we had some caution laps in there with that early spin in stage 3. And because they didn't quite get to the halfway point in the stage itself at the time of the caution, there is also that. So we'll see if Allgaier can coast it home the right way. The track is obviously slick. The sun is out, as somebody mentioned earlier in the chat too. We are later into the afternoon, so it's more likely to have something like this happen. We'll take a quick ad break and continue the live commentary coverage going. And again, appreciate that, everybody. Man Rat Horn, thanks for tuning in. Tech issues today? Kind of, I guess. If I have the camera on, there's going to be a bit of a lag. When my camera is not on, there really isn't any issues with it. So sorry for that. If you wanted to see my beautiful face, but not going to be able to. I had it on for a little bit during the streams today, both this and then the cup practice of qualifying, but yeah, I can't leave it on for too long or it'll get too bad. Other viewers that are tuned into this one, Jordan Kirby, I know you've been watching for a minute here. Thanks for tuning in. I also want to shout out just each and every one of you guys that are subscribed to the channel. If you're not, definitely do so. We just hit the 5,000 subscriber threshold very early in the stream today, so greatly appreciate that. And we'll wait the finish of this race. Got one more stream to go yet this weekend. Live commentary for tomorrow's NASCAR Cup Series race will begin at 3 p.m. Eastern. And we'll see how this race is going to go the rest of the way. A little contact right around the race leader nearly. Justin Allgaier got a bit loose in turns 1 and 2 underneath the lap car of Leland Honeyman. And in the midst of making contact with the 42 got sideways up against the wall in turn 2, and the caution is now out as a result. So caution flag is out here at Texas. Bit of a wild ride on the back straightaway there. 42 car up against the wall. It's not what the race leader needed. I will say he's better on the short run, so actually this could kind of help him out quite a bit with this caution coming into play.
Looking at the wall a little bit after the first hit.
I mentioned the fact that a lot of these teams still have tires. If they take advantage of that, and I would anticipate you do here, right? Austin Hill stayed on the lead lap through that cycle. And he did. So this could be enormous for him, depending on how everyone else plays the strategy. He's got a few laps on his tires under green, but he could cycle to the race lead here.
I think he's only got maybe...
And I don't think he's got any tires left because he had, right?
But I think he only took 2 rights.
There you go. Yeah, we got...
They played the long game, didn't quite work out. We're in 12th with 2 tires, Joey, and lefts at that. You come out with a lead, maybe.
Is it worth coming in just to take the lefts? I don't know how the tire
just
wear
stay out on the right side, you're saying.
The other thing you got to think about, too, when you come in and put lefts on, now you got a completely different balance of your race car. I don't know which way it's going to go. I'm sure they don't either. So there's a little risk on that, too. So this will be a very interesting situation, but with 32 laps on your tires, 26 laps to go, I think if you got one set late,
17 cars on the lead lap.
And this is what we call the money stop. This is where the pressure is on the pit crew to put their driver out front. We've seen the 98 have speed. We've seen the 7 have a lot of short run speed. If the 98 gets out front and gets control of this race, I'm not sure Justin Allgaier can pass it back.
It's what these athletes live for. They train all week for these moments on pit road, these pit crews. But the driver also has to do it. We saw AJ Allmendinger pass his box earlier. See if everybody can hit their marks.
Sam Mayer pitting from third. His crew pitted Kyle Busch, who won the truck race last night. Here they are, Regan.
Riley Herbst in the 98 was on the splitter early on in that green flag stop, fired off too loose, but it got better as he ran. The 7 of Justin Allgaier was loose previously during that last run. It stayed too loose in the rear, but now he has no front turn either, Josh.
For the one of Sam Mayer, fired off 3, but they got 3 numbers too tight towards the end of that run. And then for the 9 of Brandon Jones, his biggest issue out there on the track, 3 and 4 trying to correct that so they can make a play for the win.
And a whole lot going on there. Austin Hill did come down the road. He took left side tires.
Coming out behind
He goes
Brandon
+9. Brandon Jones +3 wins the race off pit road. Allgaier goes back 2, and Mayer goes back 1 in that cycle.
You know who didn't pit Adam?
I'm going to tell you it's Parker Kligerman. Is that right?
That's right.
And I'm going to guess that's because they didn't have tires because they were out of sequence earlier, right?
I think they may be out of tires, and Riley Herbst big loss there, -4 spots. Really, it's only 2 because the other guys took 2 tires, but either way, that's going to make it a lot tougher for him to get through the traffic as quickly as the others.
Allgaier's led 117 laps. He won both stages, and if he wins this thing, he's flat going to earn it. Hey, coming up next, top of the hour on FS1, a bitter rivalry is brewing in the Lone Star State. It's Corey Seager and the reigning champion Rangers getting Jose Altuve and the Astros. It all begins next on FS1, a battle in the AL West. Rangers got it in game 1 of the series last night. You know, if you go back, this is our 8th race of the year, and you look at the first 7, boy, have we had some wild finishes in the Xfinity Series. Let's go week 2, Atlanta, everybody running out of gas.
This one might have been the wildest finish of them all, where everyone ran out of gas. Poor Jesse Love, heartbreaker moment. Justin Allgaier has this race won. That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that was Phoenix.
That thing about came back and got him.
And then the bump and run, unfortunately for Van Gisbergen and Hill, it was Larson who drives through and wins at Coda for Hendrick Motorsports. First time that 17 had won on the Xfinity side for HMS. What will happen today? 4 of our 7 races this year have ended in overtime. 4 of the 7 have had the top spot change in the final 3 laps. So plenty of drama when it comes to 2024 in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
And if you thought those restarts in the race were intense, this is going to be very, very intense.
Let's listen to 7 radio. Allgaier shown 4th on track.
You know, I've been hard on you from time to time on your patience and managing temper, and I'm going to give you a compliment. You handled that very well.
I mean, it's obviously not ideal, right? I can't change it, so we'll make the most of it, buddy.
Then go take what's ours right here.
Copy that.
11 times in his career, Allgaier has swept the stages. Only 2 times as he pulled into victory lane. See if he can finish.
Once again, be sure to hit the like button if you guys have not done so on the stream yet. The goal is to get to 100 likes. We have well more than that many people watching. We are only at 75. So again, be sure to hit the like button on the stream. Subscribe if you're new for more NASCAR content, as well as we just hit the 5,000 subscriber threshold already today. More live commentary coverage, obviously, through the end of this race. You'll get to listen to some post-race interviews, and we'll have coverage of tomorrow's Cup race with our pre-race predictions portion of the live stream beginning at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon for Cup Series coverage. As far as today's stream goes, again, down to 23 to go. They have not gotten the restart yet. A couple drivers stayed out of the pits. It looks like Kligerman, Jones, Hill stayed out. Allgaier, Mayer, Custard, Herbst, all those drivers on fresh tires. Let's see who will prevail.
We're not taking the time to add Packer. We can still add Packer in the Xfinity car. Slide the shims onto the shaft springs on the shock. But we have a shot. I'm not saying that we love where we're at here with the 98, but one person I'm looking at is that one car, Sam Mayer. We talked about him earlier. Continues to cycle himself forward. Obviously, we know Parker Kligerman on the old tires. Not going to feel great on the start, especially when he gets to turn 1. We just need to get a good launch.
Hey, next week we're going to Talladega in the booth. Good teammates. Ryan Blaney, Daniel Suarez going to be up here.
Switching it up. We'll see who does better here. Which teammates are a better group here.
Can we get a good boot poll like Gluck does?
Does
The
he do
athletic?
that?
Oh, come on. Act like you don't know.
Yes, he did that.
Man, the good race poll. We live by that. That's how we decide a race.
Okay, so having a good boot poll.
I think we should wait till drivers only.
Well, we can get it.
Of course you do. That's job security for you.
By the way, I'll be your stage manager.
Thank you.
And Charlie, get your orders.
You're going to be my helpers.
Yeah, you know what I'm going to bring you? I'm going to bring you one of these.
Tell you what, I would appreciate that.
I know you would. All right, we've done the choose. Parker Kligerman on those much older tires has taken the inside lane. Brandon Jones to his outside. And we can't forget the 48 has one win in the history of the organization.
Things are about to get wild in the Wild West. Texas Motor Speedway, 21 laps to go. We got the top 3 on old tires on the restart. Hill's got fresher right sides, only a few laps on them. Left sides are older than everybody else that is on the racetrack still. And then the 48 and the 9 both ended up taking no tires as they did not pit at all. They were already good to go to the end on fuel. So interesting strategy play here. Again, 21 laps left. Allgaier, who's dominated the day, will be outside of row 2 on this restart. Can he get around him quickly? Can Custard, can Mayer, can Herbst, or somebody else have a chance to take the lead as the green flag is back in the air? Great restart by Parker Kligerman. A great push from behind by Austin Hill. Somebody plows the grass on the front stretch. Looked like Herbst, and maybe the car behind him was Sammy Smith. Meanwhile, at the very front, nearly 3 wide for the lead through turns 1 and 2. Kligerman washes wide. He gets sideways, and Brandon Jones is going to come out with the lead off the exit of the corner. And a great 3-wide move to get to second on the inside for Sam Mayer as he beats Justin Allgaier getting through traffic. Austin Hill losing a lot of time, as well as Parker Kligerman in the outside lane through 3 and 4. Great job by both of them holding onto their cars. And that leaves Brandon Jones, the only car on old tires, at the front of the field with 20 to go. Who's going to get around him first? Sam Mayer is there. Riley Herbst is there. And Ryan Siegel in contention. Allgaier still struggling to get by the 21 car. He's side by side with him and is now outside the top 5. Sieg is going for 3rd place underneath the 98 of Riley Herbst. Herbst struggles in the outside lane. And how about Ryan Sieg getting to 3rd place? Meanwhile, just in front of him, Sam Mayer will take the lead off turn 4 to the line. Defensive line into 1 and 2. Ryan Sieg to second and is all over the back bumper of Sam Mayer. Mayer slides up the racetrack through 1 and 2. Ryan Sieg is going for the lead with 19 laps to go. The underdog team that has been running top 10 all day has now gotten to the inside of the race leader and is battling with the big boys in the NASCAR Xfinity Series for the win. Herbst is still door-to-door with the 9 car. An aggressive side draft at the front of the field. Just in front of him is Ryan Sieg, is going to take the lead into turn 1 from Sam Mayer. He's clear in the center of the corner. Mayer will duck in line behind him, and now has to play defense from Riley Herbst, who now moves to 3rd, just passing Brandon Jones, who remains in 4th. A.J. Allmendinger for Colleague Racing in the 5th place position, and looking to pounce, and actually, no, that is Justin Allgaier, the guy who's dominated the day, Not A.J. Allmendinger. Allmendinger's in 6th place. Justin Allgaier in 5th. Sam Mayer leads the dash for cash as well on top of the 7. Can Ryan Sieg get it done? I'm kind of pulling for him. I know I'm supposed to stay unbiased, but and I'm kind of pulling for the little team that could here at this point. Caution flag is out further back in the field. It's going to pause the action for a minute. 7th yellow of the race. Our 3rd of the final stage. Sheldon Creed is involved. It looked like the 91 car of Kyle Weatherman was the one who went for the spin. Haley Deegan might have gotten a piece of it as well. Heavy damage to Weatherman's race car. 17 laps to go.
Kyle Weatherman already turned at the start-finish line with Haley Deegan right behind him. Maybe a push gone wrong there in the dogleg.
Oh. Hard to say. A lot of contact to the 91.
You have cards back here, Joey. I'm not sure how this went. Oh, we see contact with Sheldon Creed.
Sheldon Creed is rolling through there, hitting the ground.
Haley, just an innocent bystander. I spoke too soon there.
Just say exactly how that started.
Yeah, like I was going to say, you have cars back here that there was wave arounds. We had a lot of mixed up strategy with that caution coming out at the end of the last run after the green flag cycle. Flat tire on the 18 here. It looks like he'll be able to keep going though.
Sheldon Creed, one of those dash for cash drivers, so a tough situation for him late in this race. Same for his teammate, Chandler Smith, who's 17th. It looks like it's going to be one of those junior motorsport Chevys that takes home the cash today. Mayer's second, Allgaier's fifth. We're going to be inside of 15 laps to go when we get the restart. Had a whole lot going on this afternoon at Texas. Jesse Love starts on the pole. One of his young friends, full-time in the Truck Series, Taylor Gray, with an incredible save off of turn 2.
Teammates getting really close together here. Josh Williams packing air on Daniel Dye. Goes around, holds the brake at the right time, lets off the brake as Justin Allgaier wins stage 1 and stage 2.
Allgaier's led 117 laps today. Jed Burton had a strong car, got into the wall. He's 3 laps down in 36th. And under caution right now for the 7th time today. See the damage for Weatherman. Haley Deegan trying to hang on to it there.
Good job by the next half dozen cars there just to slow down. Don't do anything crazy. They're wrecking. You can't do anything about it. Just try to slow down, which is really hard with these Xfinity cars and truck arms. You get a lot of wheel hop if you're not careful with the downshifts.
Right. And what a restart, though, by everybody up towards the front. But Ryan Sieg, in a smaller team, able to get themselves to the lead, passing these powerhouse teams, put themselves in position. We talked about the other cars that are right there. The cream has risen to the top at this point. You look at the 7, the 9, the 98, the 1. Those were the best cars of the day. The 39 kind of came out of nowhere. He was kind of back half of the top 5, sometimes maybe 7th or 8th most of the time. Big restart at the end of the race, puts himself in position to win this thing.
Restart that? Yes, it was good. He just drove by them. They were under green, turned left under the 1 car. That does not happen at this level of our sport. The Sieg family has been in this so long. With his younger brother also out there, a real opportunity. Obviously, Ryan's trying to go through his head right now. Think through his 341 career starts, right? Finishing second, I was in that race in Iowa in the 4 car, just a few positions behind him when
William Byron won, right? I think it was William Byron who won that race.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I'll be honest.
How do you not know that?
William
all the
wins a
stats
lot.
you've given us today.
William wins a lot, guys. I'm more comfortable mid-pack, okay? So I never paid attention to who was winning those races, but I remember Ryan Sieg running second.
By the way, as you said there, today, career start number 342 for Ryan Sieg. The record for career starts before you get your first win, Jeremy Clements at 256.
And it's going to take all those starts. The problem is he hasn't been in this position, Joey. You've done this. You're warming your tires. You know what you're looking for in the tire warming, what gear you want to be in under caution. You're cooling your motor down. These Xfinity cars, they run as much tape as they can. They're trying to get the water temperature down so they have the most power on the start. Not the case with our Cup cars now. Ryan's never been up here to do this in any regular form.
And that's where he has a bit of a disadvantage because racing for 10th, racing for 5th, racing for the lead, racing for 20th are all completely different. The tools that you need to have in your toolbox to be able to execute passing cars, restarts, all of it. Strategy is all completely different depending on the speed you have in your car and where you typically race. He doesn't have as many tools in his toolbox right now, quite frankly, and
Still have not gotten the 1 to go signal yet. Down to 13 to go as we run right now. So we're looking at 11 or less laps remaining once they get the cleanup done on the front stretch and turn 1 area where this last wreck had taken place. Again, reminder, hit the like button, everybody. We got well more than 100 people watching right now as far as concurrent viewers go. Only 80 likes. Our goal is to get to 100. We got 20 likes to go, and we got 13 laps to get there, so be sure to hit that like button. Helps the channel out a ton. You know what else helps the channel out a ton? Again, getting to that 5,000 subscriber threshold today. I'm pumped about it. Hopefully you guys are too. Obviously, can't do it without you guys tuning in every single week for these live commentary streams and other streams across the channel over the first few years of it. Again, appreciate it. Just a year and a half ago, nearly, maybe even a little less than that. It was about October of 2022 when we hit the 1,000 subscriber threshold, and here we are at 5,000 now at this point in the season. So again, greatly appreciated. And now the road to 10K begins. Well, it has begun. I guess technically it would have begun when the channel started, but road to 10K now. 5K is in the mirror. And again, just wanted to say thank you to everybody that has been here since, the beginning, maybe new to the channel. Maybe today is the first time you've stumbled across one of these streams. We do this every NASCAR race weekend for Truck Xfinity Cup races as well as Cup practice and qualifying newly this year. So our third stream of the weekend. We got one more to go yet tomorrow, Texas. And next weekend, Talladega for the NASCAR Xfinity and Cup Series. Should be a fun one there as well. As far as this goes, tune it into the broadcast again, and then I'll take over on the restart.
Is he going to do this into the last corner? And I knew you were going to do it again. If it worked once, you're going to do it a second time.
Well, your teammate, the 12, had already blocked me to keep me back there, and then I knew he would just block me again if I did it on the wall. And then we go a year later, I block him, but then it's a bigger deal.
Let's look at first-time winners here at Texas Motor Speedway 5 times as the driver picked up their first career win here. I'd say it's who's who. Dale Jr., 98. Kurt Busch in his first start did it, 2006. Of course, at that point, he was already running in Cup. Trevor Bayne, 2011. Chase Elliott beat a host of superstars when he won here for Junior Motorsports in 2014, and Eric Jones did it 1 year later as a part-timer. And I remember when he won that race, Eric Jones, Jeff Gordon was in the booth with us calling the race on FS1, so that was a cool moment.
Man, that's do you think Dale had the beard in '98?
They didn't give him the young pitcher.
No.
They didn't do that like they did everybody
Love to work
else.
on that. Somebody on Twitter can find that, I'm sure.
Going to be 11 to go. Sieg Mayer.
All right, here we go. Sam Mayer outside of the front row. Ryan Sieg, that preferred lane on the bottom that has prevailed on every restart so far. We'll see if it will prevail once again. 11 laps remaining at Texas as the green flag is back in the air. Sieg getting the help from Riley Herbst and Justin Allgaier. A three-way push headed to turn 1. A.J. Allmendinger pulling out a line to stuff the 7 in the 003 wide into turns 1 and 2. A couple cars very wide on that outside lane as they work their way up turn 2. Brandon Jones is one of them. Keeps it off the outside wall narrowly as he loses a couple more positions. Great restart by Ryan Sieg at the front of the field. He's got about a 5 to 6 car length lead, and he needs that battle for second to continue to heat up as it is right now. Riley Herbst and Sam Mayer are side by side for second. Herbst on the bottom and Sam Mayer on the top. Mayer going to get a little help from his teammate now. Allgaier to the back bumper. Quick shove on the end of the front stretch into turns 1 and 2. Mayer trying to get the roll off the outside to clear the 98 underneath him. Almost a 1 second lead for Ryan Sieg at the front of the field. Nearly contact. One car up against the wall off turn 2. We continue to stay green. That's Parker Retzlaff towards the back of the pack. Retzlaff got up against the wall. Battle for second is now over. Herbst got sideways in the middle of 3 and 4. Big lift. Couple cars narrowly missing him to the inside. More contact with Brandon Jones now. And Jones is sideways on the front stretch, but they hang on to it. 3 wide, and it looked like the 98 got pinched off near the wall. Had contact with the 9. And now major tire rub on the right side of the 98 and the left side for that matter. Brandon Jones has a bit of a tire rub of his own. Slow car on the bottom of the racetrack trying to get to pit road. Everything's going on this restart. Side by side for third now between the veterans of Allmendinger and Allgaier. A 1.2 second lead for Sieg over Mayer. Remember, even if Mayer does not catch Ryan Sieg for the race win, then Justin Allgaier and Mayer will be battling for the $100,000 Dash for Cash bonus. Mayer has cleared Allmendinger for third place off of turn 2. He's 2 seconds off the lead, and he's about 0.8 of a second behind Sam Mayer. Mayer's had a great car in the longer run in this one here today, but not really much of a long run to the end. Again, an 11-lap sprint. A lot of carnage has happened on the restart, but we do continue to stay green. 7 laps to go now. Ryan Sieg in his 341st career start, trying to go to victory lane for the first time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. A family-owned team with him and his dad. The 36-year-old Georgia native is just moments away from a date with history. A 1.1 second lead, only a tenth quicker. That last lap was Sam Mayer. Time trial laps from here to the end for really everybody in the field, but especially these top three. Allgaier is the quickest on the racetrack. He's faster than both Mayer and Sieg. He's had the fastest short-run car all day today. But does he have enough time? He's got to be quicker than a tenth of a second a lap, as he has been compared to these two in front of him. At least has a chance to get to Sam Mayer for the Dash for Cash bonus. And if they battle that out, that's only going to help Sieg even more. 5 laps to go now. Austin Hill, even on his older tires, has only fallen to 6th. Anthony Alfredo, shout out to another underfunded team that is running top 10, currently in the 10th place position. Has been running top 12 in points. This could steal a playoff spot away here for Sieg if he can get the win. He's being aggressive with his lane choice. He was doing well on the bottom, moved to the outside through 3 and 4, trying to find something different. He lost a little bit of time doing that. 4 laps to go. Probably should have just stuck to what was working. Now the lead is about 0.8 of a second. That gave a chance for Mayer to have some clean air in the nose. 39 goes to the outside again through 1 and 2, but Mayer does as well, puts himself in dirty air. Allgaier's got the clean air now in 3rd as he ran the bottom through 1 and 2. 3 to go this time by. Sieg again to the top side through 3 and 4. I'm not sure why he's running there. Mayer went back to the bottom again through 3 and 4. Maybe not all the way to the white line, but about a lane below the 39. That's all he needed. Sieg is not running as well on the outside. He's just being aggressive with the lane choice. And he's definitely laying it all on the line. Top 3 now within 1 second of each other. A 0.6 of a second gap between 1st and 2nd. Sieg and Mayer. Does Sieg go back to the bottom of the racetrack? It was working well for him. No, he does not. Again, he goes to the outside. And again, Mayer wraps the inside lane. And Mayer's built up a bit of a gap of his own over the 7 car of Allgaier behind him. His teammate is trailing. A 0.5 second difference now between the 1 and the 7. It was just a couple car lengths about 2 laps ago. Mayer in the dirty air of Sieg. Middle to upper groove through 1 and 2. Lap and a half to go for Sieg. Mayer is charging hard into turns 3 and 4. Again to the bottom of the racetrack goes Sam Mayer, and again to the top is Ryan Sieg. Sieg will carry a little bit more momentum on the front stretch. How will this work for him? 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Final lap of the race, a 4-car length lead for Ryan Sieg into turn 1 over Sam Mayer. Mayer was nearly a 1.5 seconds back. Now Mayer goes a little bit higher through 1 and 2. Sieg messed up. Sieg got a little loose off the exit of the corner. It's Mayer who's going to get underneath him. They drag race down the backstretch. Oh no, a heartbreaker for Sieg. Does he have a chance? Now Mayer overdrives the entry to 3 and 4. Both drivers have overdriven their cars once, now twice, side by side. Contact off turn 4. Drag race to the line. I don't know who won. I think it was Sam Mayer, and if he did, it wasn't by much. Scoring pylon has Sam Mayer out in front. Multiple mistakes were made by both of these drivers on the final lap, and our margin of victory is showing 2 1,000ths of a second between Sam Mayer and Ryan Sieg. Oh my goodness. In the greatest finish at Texas Motor Speedway of all time, it is Sam Mayer by less than an inch beating out Ryan Sieg, and a heartbreaker for the 39 team that led for many laps down the stretch in his 341st career start. Almost pulled off the upset. You can't get any closer than Sieg had right there. Thought he lost it off of turn 2. He got sideways, but then Mayer overdrove it on the other end of the racetrack and nearly lost it himself. They were beating and banging, drag racing to the line, and Sam Mayer was the one who held on to get the win. Have you ever? Oh my goodness. You'll get to hear from your race winner, Sam Mayer, and many others, but holy hellacious, what a finish. In the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 at Texas. Wow. It looked like Sieg got loose. I don't think the initial contact was on purpose. It looked like Sieg got sideways off turn 4. watching the replay again, you can see the rear of his car yawed out. There's two guys pushing as hard as they can for the win. The initial contact was made because he had gotten loose. And then I can't say that the second piece of contact after that was the same. And unbelievable.
Earlier this season, get out after a wreck a couple weeks in a row and just put his hands up. He's like, what am I doing? How does this keep happening? Now he stands on the roof as a winner this year.
DNFs in 3 of the first 4 races this season from Mayer. Finished 30th a couple of weeks ago in Richmond after that contact on pit road. But today, they didn't give up. And he wins the race. And oh, by the way, $100,000 via the Dash for Cash.
I don't think he's even thought about the $100,000 yet.
Nope.
How close that was. There's no win that feels better than the close ones. The ones that are that tight of winning, it's just unbelievable emotions. And you said it, a tough season to start so far. One of the roughest seasons I think that team's ever experienced to start. And here's the disbelief of being that close, taking the white and not being able to get to the checkered.
It's heartbreak for me. Seeing that family team, knowing what Rod puts in, his family, the entire business there, and with Psyops on the hood, it's just heartbreak for Ryan. All of the years they put in to be that close. But if they keep bringing cars like that, Joey, that's what you have to do to win in NASCAR. Keep putting yourself in position. Josh, what do you have?
Margin of victory for Sam Mayer here at Texas. .002, and you're the Dash for Cash winner as well. $100,000 to the team. Talk to me about that final lap and what this win meant.
That's absolutely unreal. This Carolina Corporate Chevrolet was certainly as fast as Xfinity Internet, but this team, the amount of adversity we had to fight this entire year so far, and to come to a mile and a half that I want to say I'm good at, but it took a lot. It took every ounce of me to do that today, but so proud of my team. Marty on top of the box, Kevin on top of the roof. He might have won that race because he told me bottom of 3 and 4 was better, so props to him.
Your Texas winner and your Dash for Cash winner, Sam Mayer.
He's out of gas. Sam will be going for another $100,000 next weekend at Talladega. Regan?
Ryan Sieg, the other side of that photo finish, so incredibly close to your first career win. Ryan, what are the emotions right now?
Sucks. You know what I mean? We had a really good car. Just kind of, I got tight, and then I tried to change my line to do different things, and just kind of, you know what I mean? Fell behind, and then I saw him coming, and then I was doing all I could do, and then at the end, I was trying to just run him in the wall. But this is a good thing, you know what I mean? We're running where we need to be in the top 5, so just got to clean up a few things, and it'll come. We just sealed up, and we'll have our Psyops Ford in victory lane here shortly. But just sucks, you know what I mean? We had a super fast car. Just thought we had it at the end, just got tight. And, sucks.
Thanks, Ryan.
You know, Adam, these moments.
And he's one of the 4 drivers that will be eligible for the Dash for Cash next Saturday when we go to Talladega Super Speedway. It's Sam Mayer, Ryan Sieg, Justin Allgaier, and A.J. Allmendinger. Unofficial results, the top 10. Obviously, Mayer and Sieg at the front. Another good day for Justin Allgaier. Back-to-back top 5s. Allmendinger rallies back for 4th, and Cole Custard ends up in the top 5 today.
Anthony Alfredo there rounding out your top 10, punching above his weight with our Motorsports in that 5 car.
First win for Junior Motorsports this season. Sam Mayer, again, margin of victory for him over Ryan Sieg, just 2 1,000ths of a second, and the closest finish in track history in any series in NASCAR here at the Texas Motor Speedway. Again, Sam Mayer, your race winner by just 2 1,000ths of a second. We'll go over the other race stats, the full field finishing order. If we get any other interviews, you can listen into those as well. I believe they are going off the air here any second now as they've hit their end of their 4 o'clock hour window. It seems like baseball's coming on next. Got to hear from the 2 guys involved in this photo finish here today. Again, Mayer with the win. Ryan Sieg finishes second. Justin Allgaier led the most laps today with a 3rd place finish. Fell behind on these last 2 restarts. Allgaier led 117 laps Dominated the race, had the best short run car, but fell behind in traffic. Tough track to pass and could never get back to the 39 and the 1 here down the stretch. But a third place run nonetheless for Justin. AJ Allmendinger with a fourth place run. Good comeback performance there to finish just 2 seconds off the race lead. Cole Custard finishes in 5th, ran top 5 most of the day. Austin Hill with a 6th place run. Good strategy to get him the track position needed and held on for a 6th place finish. Ryan Truex, after getting into the wall hard early in stage 3, was still able to capitalize on a 7th place finish, even with the damage to the right side of his race car. Sammy Smith ends up 8th. Jesse Love 9th after starting on the pole. Never really ran top 10 for most of the day, but snuck in there towards the finish. And Anthony Alfredo, another underfunded team, a smaller team, if you will, finishing in the top 10 with a 10th place run. Taylor Gray in his 3rd career Xfinity start finishes 11th. Josh Williams 12th. Brandon Jones 13th. 14th for Kyle C. Chandler Smith 15th. Jeremy Clements 16th. Corey Heim 17th. Shane Van Gisbergen 18th. Sheldon Creed 19th. And Matt DiBenedetto finishes 20th. 21st for Brennan Poole. Parker Retzlaff 22nd. Haley Deegan 23rd. Daniel Dye 24th. Parker Kligerman 25th. 26th for Ryan Ellis. Riley Herbst 27th. David Starr 28th. Josh Bilicki 29th. Joey Gase 30th. 31st for Leland Honeyman. Jeb Burton 32nd. 33rd for Patrick Emerly. Garrett Smithley 34th. Blaine Perkins 35th. Kyle Weatherman 36th. 37th for Dawson Cram. And Chad Fincham, the only driver of the DNF today, will finish 38th. 2 hours, 22 minutes, 52 seconds total time of the race. We finish under the regulation amount of laps here, 200, 300 miles, 125.010 mile per hour average race speed today. And again, your driver who led the most laps was Justin Allgaier. He won the first 2 stages, his 2nd and 3rd stage wins of the year, led 4 different times, 117 laps led. Sam Mayer, who won the race today, led just 5 laps in the race entirely. Didn't even think he really led that many, but he did. And he ends up leading 4 different times for those 5 laps. I think most of those were like on pit road during the caution pit stops. Basically on pit road where he was able to lead the majority of those. But nonetheless was there when it mattered the most on lap 200 of 200. Ryan Sieg led 17 laps in the late going into this race. A heartbreaking finish for the underdog team. It's tough to see him come out on that end of the finish. But crazy finish, and one that I'm glad I got to see, as well as I'm sure many of you guys right here on the channel as well. In total, we ended up seeing, let me count real quick. It's like 10 different drivers led at least 1 lap in the race today. And amongst those 10 different leaders, we had 16 lead changes. 7 cautions total in the race, just as we had in the truck race last night. 3 for incident in the final stage. 2 in the first 2 stages, and the 2 stage breaks almost identical to how the race ended up. 11-lap green flag run to the checker as well. So very good races here at Texas to start the weekend. Hopefully the Cup Series has a good way to finish things out tomorrow. We'll have full flag-to-flag coverage for you, beginning with our pre-race coverage at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, 3 p.m. Eastern tomorrow afternoon. Coverage of the NASCAR Cup Series now you got to think about the name. Auto Trader Echo Park Automotive 400 at Texas. Again, that will take place tomorrow. But thanks for watching the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here today. What a finish. What a race. And again, glad that everybody was here, able to watch it to the finish. We did not get to our goal of 100 likes on the stream. We're at 92 right now. So if you do if you have not hit the like button yet, be sure to do so. So we can hopefully get to our goal soon after the finish of this stream. And also hit the subscribe button. Again, if you are new, we did hit the 5,000 subscriber threshold. What a stream. What a stream. Did my Tigers win in extra innings? That would only... Yeah, how about... Oh, wait, hang on. Okay, so the Tigers haven't won yet. I was going to say, that was only going to put the stream over the top for me personally. But, they still got another game later. But anyway, yeah, Sam Mayer gets $100,000, wins the Dash for Cash. But what a crazy stream. I mean, we had probably... one of the closest finishes you'll ever see. The closest in track history at Texas. We hit 5,000 subscribers, and we still got a race yet tomorrow. I mean, we can't ask for much more on the channel. Only thing I could have asked for is maybe to get to 100 likes. It looks like we're at 95 right now. So we're just going to be just shy of that. But again, appreciated everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for subscribing, watching the channel every week, and I hope to see you back and better than ever again tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. I'll probably have a highlight posted of the finish of the race with my commentary synced up here shortly. Hopefully it doesn't get copyrighted. That's the reason why I haven't done it yet this year. But I'm high on adrenaline after the finish of that race. I'm sure many of you guys are too. Crazy. Thanks for tuning in again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Have a good rest of your Saturday night.